Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, and I end up alone. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Ain't got no place to call my own. Feels like I'm better off alone. So sad inside and hopeless. These Hollywood hoes never notice. Can't get back on. You're gone, girl, I miss you. Can't get back on. You're gone, girl, I miss you. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, and I end up alone. I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Hollywood perfect. That's how it goes when you Hollywood perfect. Woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, how'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. Somehow I woke up out in Beverly, fucked up, smelling like that bourbon, how'd I end up alone? I'm not certain. Yeah, the girls impolite in the club every night. That's how it goes when you're Hollywood perfect. Perfect.
A broken glass while I'm thinking in my head. I mind my own, I don't even break a sweat. Oh, this madness is insane. Why you still live in vain? I'm not the one, you're the victim of your own mistakes. It's time to hit the lights, under the street lights, under the street lights. I'm not the one, you're the victim of your own mistakes. Untold stories, they were left behind. The silent breeze, I got nothing on my mind. This madness is insane. Why you still live in vain? I'm not the one, you're the victim of your own mistakes. It's time to hit the lights, under the street lights, under the street lights. I'm not the one, you're the victim of your own mistakes.
wanna see you. I don't wanna hear you tonight. I don't wanna fight you. You don't wanna know if I feel alright. I don't wanna just forgive you, I just wanna be fine. I'll be waiting for a sign to light up, yeah. And your heart is out of sight. I just wanna feel mine. Hey you, I'm gonna be the one for another one. Hey you, maybe then you'll know that I was never one. I don't wanna see you, I don't wanna fear you tonight. You don't wanna know me, you just wanna make sure you're right. I'm gonna be the one for another one. Maybe then you'll know that I was never one. I'm gonna be the one for another one. I don't wanna feel you tonight. Got me. Got me. Can I hear you? Got me. Got me. Can I hear you? I don't wanna call you. I don't wanna know what you think. I'm the one you go to whenever you feel like you're about to sink. I don't wanna just forget you, but I wanna be fine. I'll be
Okay, hello everyone. We are live now. So we're into the 5th week of groups, which is the final week today. So welcome everyone back to the Vantage Cup. And as we get into the final games of the group stages, we do introduce the matches today, which will be Valkyrie Valhalla versus Hot Pot Buffet. Second up, we have Avalanche versus Massive, the absolute Goliaths of this tournament so far, which will be an amazing game to see. And then also C9 Krug Academy Superstars versus Weeknight Warriors. Joined with me today, we do have Pookie, who will be playing the role of our color caster, and I will be taking over the role of play-by-play today. So again, welcome everyone to the stream, and Pookie, if you just want to introduce yourself a little bit.
Hi, my name's Pookie. I am an Orn and Cannon main, and I am very excited to be here tonight.
Awesome. Now for tonight, unfortunately, we don't have any cams for this portion of the stream, but that's okay. But getting into the games tonight, a couple of things we want to make note of. So first game being Valkyrie Valhalla vs Hot Pot Buffet. Unfortunately, this game doesn't really mean anything for the standings. No matter what happens in this group, Avalanche and Massive will go through to the semifinals. With that being said, teams, of course, still want to play for that position, kind of that credibility. So they'll be playing against each other for that. Hot Pot hasn't won a game yet either, so if they want to gain some form of traction, really get their name out there, look good on this stream, and on this broadcast here, they're going to want to win this final game of the group stages.
Yeah, I'm absolutely rooting for Hot Pot for this one.
Yeah, we definitely want to let them pick up a game, or I mean, we don't want to let them, but we want to see them pick up a game. We want to see them work for it. Nobody wants to enter a tournament and just completely get knocked out without winning a game.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that's a really big one. Valkyrie overall, of course, they have a team in Group 1 and Group 2. They've looked amazing so far in Group 2. In Group 1, not so much. They haven't really done as well. I think they've only picked up one game. So this might be a good game to watch between those two and kind of see what happens there.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to watch for sure. I'm really hoping Hot Pot can pull out some really interesting strategies and maybe shake it up a little, make it an interesting game.
Yeah, well, that's the thing to keep in mind as well. Just due to the fact that it's the game doesn't really mean too much for the overall kind of position of the teams. Like I said, they will be out after tonight, unfortunately. But we could see some interesting picks, see some people maybe mix it up. Going into that, though, second game, Avalanche versus Massive. This is the huge one. This is the game everyone's been waiting to see. Two absolute behemoths in this tournament, both sitting at 4-0 at the moment. I know you haven't been around too much for these here, Pookie, but what's your take on these two teams?
Oh, I'm very excited to watch this. I think this is the highlight of the night for sure. And I think it really sets a precedent going into the final series. If one of these teams can get a win over the other, it'll maybe make the other team, if they have to face off in the finals, a little bit worried.
Yeah, most definitely. Whatever team kind of goes undefeated into the finals there, I mean, if it's possible, then that would be a great look for them. On top of that, between the two teams, they're both looking extremely strong as well. The winner of the second game tonight will get the privilege of deciding the side that they start on, and also they'll be first seed, which means they'll go up against the second seed from the other bracket as well. So they're going to have an advantage for sure. So it's not just about kind of them both getting through. One of them definitely wants to win tonight and give themselves an advantage.
I also think.
Sorry, Cookie.
I think Weekend Warriors absolutely look very strong right now as well. So it'll be very interesting to see how these teams fare against, the higher bracket of the ladder and preparing themselves for that semi-final match.
Yeah, most definitely. And I think no matter what happens tonight on the other side of things, I think Weekend Warriors most definitely have their first seed. I think that's locked in. So whatever team loses tonight is going to have to face them in the semis, which is not going to be. It's not going to be an easy task for sure. Going into game 3, so that's another one that unfortunately is just kind of off the table in terms of importance, due to the fact again Avalanche and Massive will make it through the semi-finals. But C9 Krog Academy Superstars versus Weeknight Warriors. Now this is an interesting one to me. Coming into this tournament, I had full faith in Weeknight Warriors. Some of the players I've seen around before, and they are amazing players. Obviously also the kind of whole Weekend Warriors team as a whole, the org, and Weeknight Warriors being a part of that, you expected a lot from them. Not to say that they haven't performed, but they haven't really shown up properly. They've only won one game so far in this bracket, in this group here, and they're going up against C9 Krog Academy Superstars, which, I mean, some have been calling an autofill team or a makeshift team of plats. Not a great look, but that being said, they've picked up 2 games. So that puts them, I mean, at worst tonight on equal footing with Weeknight Warriors in the Vantage Cup. They will both be knocked out tonight regardless, so it'll be interesting to see if C9 can extend that to 3 games, or if they're going to give that up and make it an even 2-2 versus Weeknight.
Yeah, for sure. I think in terms of player, how well a player can show up on the night, Weeknight Warriors should be favored in that. However, I don't think Weeknight Warriors have had a particularly good read of the meta so far, so it'll be interesting to see if their draft changes up.
That's a very good point, actually. Drafting and things like that, not something we've talked about too much on the casting kind of section of things. But yeah, no, overall, I think Weeknight Warriors very clearly know what they're doing, but maybe just some little areas that hopefully they can fix up tonight, fingers crossed. We are going to jump back to an intermission, and the reason for that is because we are only a few minutes out from hopefully getting to our first game, so we will be back with you guys shortly.
Baby girl, I know you wanna hit it, oh no. I'm a playboy like Sinatra. See the evil eye every time we pull up. Talking about the fakes, but that's not us. You know you can call me Dundada. Baby, we gon' pull up to the opera. Baby girl, I know you wanna hit it, oh no. I'm a playboy like Sinatra. Who that hopping out the Beamer? It's a party when I see her. Fell in love with my demeanor, and she love the way I treat her. We gon' pour it by the leader. Everybody watching now, I'm blowing off the meter. All these people talking Frank Sinatra through the speakers. If they got a problem, cause in time he got a feature. So I'm popping off. Now I'm hearing talks about falling off. I could never. All these people that been dropping off, I could never. All that talking just to top it off, I could never. Got a bag, homie. Yeah. I don't mean to brag, homie. Know a lot of people hate on me. Get the fuck up out my way, homie. Yeah. Baby girl, I know you wanna hit it, oh no. I'm a playboy like Sinatra. See the evil eye every time we pull up. Talking about the fakes, but that's not us. You know you can call me Dundada. Baby, we gon' pull up to the opera. Baby girl, I know you wanna hit it, oh no. I'm a playboy like Sinatra. Ain't nobody pop where I'm from. No attention, now these hoes falling like it's autumn. Richie Palo on top, that's a fucking problem. Russian cream, suede seats like we hit the ladder. And I hold on to my pride, cause you know where I'm from. And I grip that bottle tight, I'ma sip it till it's done. I'ma take that corner wide while I'm screaming red rum. You the Bonnie to my Clyde, now we really on one. Now I know you wanna party all night, mix the Henny with Bacardi. All night in that Giorgio Armani. All white, and I know you love that vodka with peach Sprite. Can I hit it in the morning? Cause I'm flying, man, I'm soaring. I'm just going through the motions. There's no telling where we're going. Baby girl, I know you wanna hit it, oh no. I'm a playboy like Sinatra. See the evil eye every time we pull up. Talking about the fakes, but that's not us. You know you can call me Dundada. Baby, we gon' pull up to the opera. Baby girl, I know you wanna hit it, oh no. I'm a playboy like Sinatra. You try hard to find the answer when no one knows how it feels between disasters. It comes and goes. The life of dreams is moving faster, and no one knows the constant fear of what comes after. We'll never know. It's weighing me down. Got my feet on the ground. Let's fly away from the lies. And run away through the night. Let's run away. We're falling hard to find the answer. Oh, with this life we live be all that matters. The life of dreams is moving faster, and no one knows the constant fear of what comes after. And we'll never know. It's weighing me down. Got my feet on the ground. Let's hide away from the lies and run away through the night. Let's run away.
Baby, it's whatever. All this ever, but you long gone, it don't matter. Ride or die, that's been the deal. The light of your body got disappear. But if you don't play that for me, I'm out of it, I'm out of it. I lick my gun and then I'm done. I'm out of it, I'm out of it. And there's no man to tell me you're no good. I'm brushing the weight of you, the weight of you, of my shoulders. Done with my cigarette, and when all the smoke is clear, I'm brushing the weight of you, the weight of you, the weight of you. Don't need a no man. Don't need a no man. Back and I'm better. You had to go back where you came from, now you're bitter. Out of sight, out of mind for real. Yeah, I wouldn't wanna be you for real. But if you don't play that for me, I'm out of it, I'm out of it. I lick my gun and then I'm done. I'm out of it, I'm out of it. Ain't no man to tell me you're no good. I'm brushing the weight I remember the days, always at the same place, the same people every day. I will never forget this black old Corvette standing in front of my way. We were both in high school. I thought I was a fool. Oh, when I was falling for you. You keep drawing me in, and I know it's a sin. But even so, yeah, I need you. You taste like candy. Eat you on a Sunday. Feel so bittersweet, knowing I can leave. You taste like candy. Eat you on a Sunday. I can feel the beat on my heart and face. 'Cause you taste like candy. Cause you taste like candy. Cause you taste like candy. I remember the night when you kissed me goodbye, and I said I'd be just fine. The next day you were gone, that you caught and moved on. But looking back, I still want you. You taste like candy. Eat you on a Sunday. Feel so bittersweet, knowing I can leave. You taste like candy. Eat you on a Sunday. I can feel the beat on my heart and face. 'Cause you taste like candy. Tasty. You taste like candy. Eat you on a Sunday. Feel so bittersweet, knowing I can leave. You taste like candy. Eat you on a Sunday. I can feel the beat of my heart increase. 'Cause it tastes like candy. Gone somewhere and dyed my hair now. Wanna be alone. It's much to bear and you don't care, and I wanna play alone. I got you in my sight. I keep all the words you said to me. I get you on your knees. Rewrite all the things you said that I should be. I'll get you, now you'll beg me please. Hey, now I stay away. You were never meant to save me. Now I stay away. I'll hear you say you're sorry.
Okay, sorry about the small delay there. We had to wait on a player, but we are into Champ Select now for the first game. Just a reminder, Valkyrie Valhalla on the left, Hot Pot Buffet on the right. So no pro draft will be used this game, which means we'll be seeing the picks and bans live as they happen, and we'll get to see the thought process behind these teams.
Interesting. The Gwen ban, yep, very strong AP bruiser right now. Not many answers to it in the top lane.
Yeah, so definitely Gwen's one of those champions where you want to be careful. Like, you can pick something that's strong against her, but she can still pop off, and it's just not something you want to deal with. So it makes perfect sense. That,
Yeah.
maybe a little bit less so. The Zeri, not a champion that we've really seen have any success here. Not a champion I've personally seen have any success here. Okay, back to the one thing that I have to mention it, and it might be the caster's curse, and I know you don't want to hear it, Cookie.
Wukong.
Will we see a Wukong? That's the bigger question. These bans mean nothing until we see a Wukong. You can ban whatever you want, but if that champion gets banned or picked, it's going to be a horrible game.
They're just getting rid of all the meta ADCs, which is fun little situation. It's the last game of the tournament for these teams. Spice it up a little. Let Wukong just not get picked.
That'd be nice.
Aurelia?
Look, we haven't seen it be banned, but that could be worse than it being banned, because there we go. So it's through. Some strong bans coming out there. Aurelia, definitely a really good one. Also
Lucian?
the Silas, quite a decent ban too. Lucian's a really good champion if they're going for the early game.
Yeah, 100%. Lucian, a very strong early game ADC, fairly safe, lots of pressure in the bot lane. Now you'd probably want to pair that with a jungler who can allow Lucian to succeed and scale into the late game. Oh, and that's Yasuo lock. All right. You would think this would be followed up with the Diana, or yep, there it is.
There we go. Good call. So definitely, you see the Yasuo in any level of competitive or pro play, and you want to see the Diana as well. It's not something you really want to pick on its own. Just doesn't work.
The Nami, obviously, very good synergy with Lucian.
Yep.
Now, I would not be surprised to see an Olaf.
Okay.
As a follow-up, because Olaf works very well with enchanters, fairly strong into Diana as well. And no, we're going to go Gragas, which is quite good because it's a flex for almost like the entire map at this point. So now, because of the Gragas flex, they have to just lock it in and face the risk of Gragas just not being in the lane they're countering. So that will be interesting.
Yeah, so speaking of flex picks, it's something that we've seen a couple of times, but the champion's always been in a one role, and I'll use Wukong as that example. We've seen Wukong in, again, picked or banned in every game. Majority picked, not banned. And he's been taken in the jungle every single time. Teams have not chosen to abuse that flex pick. And I'm hoping to see Valkyrie do that with this Gragas, potentially.
There was a really interesting situation here, because one of the best counters to Wukong top is actually the Gwen. So I would have loved to see the Wukong top come out here after the Gwen got banned away. But, unfortunately, it didn't come out. Still not banned. Maybe it'll go through. Maybe we'll go through a draft without seeing Wukong. That'll be a medical.
It would be nice. I have a weird feeling they might tease us with it a little bit. It might get picked up at the end. Now, that's a really nice ban. I do like the Fiora ban. Fiora is a very strong champion right now. I unfortunately haven't been able to play League myself the last few days. But besides the point, I know for a fact that she is quite a force to be reckoned with in the top lane at the moment. Some of the other bans making sense, kind of going to ban out some ADCs, since Hotpot's already banned out a few of those, and now they've already, Valkyrie's already picked the ADC. A Draven! So we get a Draven from the side of Hotpot Buffet. A very interesting pick, not something you normally see here. And that's into the Lucian, which, they both have really strong early to mid game, so it'll be interesting to see what they can do with that.
This will be a very fun game, especially with the Nautilus-Nami matchup. Nautilus typically wins that in the early game, so it'll be quite interesting to see that. Now, is this going to be...
It's a knockback.
Wukong's not Wukong's probably not going to get locked.
Wukong, unless he is going to be ultra flexed into a god knows what. I mean, he could be top side for the side of Hotpot. If they go for the Yasuo mid, I don't see it happening. Yeah. I don't see it happening. Ooh, and that looks like it's going to be a Gragas...
Gragas jungle, yep.
No, Gragas mid lane, Nocturne jungle. Well, I mean, it could be either way.
Gragas mid lane.
It could be either way. Nocturne mid is actually more likely, you make a solid point there. And we're not seeing the Wukong. Thank the lords this has come through for us. I may have jinxed it.
It can still happen. It can still happen. It can still happen.
We're gonna wait.
Oh, I would love to see it. I'm not sure about
like this guy, okay?
Oh.
And that's the first game on stream that we haven't seen the monkey.
Let's go!
Now, I do want to make
this...
Castle is finally broken. I do want to make this clear for players as well, and everyone watching. So, we have chosen to ban or restrict Belveth for the first release, so for today, for game day today. She will, however, be re-enabled in the semi-finals and the finals, so teams have a couple of weeks to kind of get adjusted to her release, and then they can pick her up if they want to.
Yeah. So, interesting points. So they've drafted a high-pressure jungle for the bot lane, like we said they would. The bot lane for Hotpot is not, like, it's early game, but the Diana can't really pressure it the way a Nocturne can.
Yep.
Gnar, obviously, just completely blind, probably wants to play safe into the Vlad. The Vlad wants to just scale, so he's perfectly fine with that. When I said Gragas could be played across the entire map, I wasn't really imagining Gragas mid. However, it's kind of an interesting situation because Yasuo can't really stick to the Gragas, but the Windwall might be a bit of a problem. However, in terms of team fighting, Hot Pot absolutely have the better draft, except unless Gnar is in Mega. Because then it kind of gets even out a bit, but that's a very situational engage. So it'll be interesting to see how they play around that.
Yeah, most definitely. You've pretty much summarized a lot of things there. The one thing I do want to point out is, although Nocturne does provide maybe a little bit more early pressure than Diana, especially if Diana really, really wants to farm that pre-6, they are both also very strong level 6 champions. So the map is mostly going to be, I imagine, favored towards the side of Valkyrie in maybe the first 5 to 10 minutes. Past that point, it's pretty much anyone's game. The teams they've got going here, it could really work out in anyone's favor. Obviously, if you look at the teams here, I would say that Hot Pot probably has the slightly better scaling comp here.
I would agree.
Draven and Lucian do start to fall off, but Nautilus is kind of quite aggressive with those late game picks, especially when you have a Yasuo, Diana, and a Vladimir. So I would say, yeah, if the game does scale into it too late, we probably will see Hot Pot start to pick up some kills and maybe flow the game in their direction. But anyways, we are going to jump into a intermission so that we can get ready to get into this game.
No problem.
I know that you're afraid. It feels like every day things are slipping away. You're slipping away, and you think back to a time that you were lost. Thoughts disorganized, can't seem to dry your eyes, and chaos is collapsing from your mind. And you say that you're fine, but now you're out of time. Out of time. You're out of time. You're out of time. And now you're out of time. And now you're out of time. Never measure up, you'll never be enough. People say tough love, you should just suck it up. And you think back to a time that you were lost. Thoughts disorganized, can't seem to dry your eyes, and chaos is collapsing from your mind. And you say that you're fine, but now you're out of time. Out of time. You're out of time. You're out of time. And now you're out of time. Oh. You don't know what goes on behind these eyes. You don't know the loneliness hidden inside. You don't know I wanna eat you up alive. Come and get to know me, my type of wild. I'm the kind that spins you and hangs you dry. Well, I'm already on to another side. If you gave me your whole life, I would still have room for more. Cause I've got that appetite. Maybe I never feel whole. You might get me through the night, but it will never be enough.
And we are back.
There we
and
go.
they are doing cheeky little cheese.
Yeah, welcome everybody. So, a little bit of a 5-man stack in the bush versus, for the most part, what looks like a 5-point defense there. Relatively common starts, of course. Valkyrie, I'm not too sure if they really expected, maybe they expected the Nautilus to kind of look for a pick there, but they're going to just reset off that one, maybe it looks like.
Yeah. I would never risk that as hot pot. Your level 1, even with the Nautilus, just is not strong enough. But, yeah. Okay. So, let's talk jungle. Realistically, both of these champions unlock their true power 6. Diana, obviously, with her ultimate, pretty much misses a major part of her kit without it. Nocturne has much more pressure when he hits 6. So I expect that the junglers will probably try and path to bot. However, they'll probably try to path so that they'll hit level 6 in bot. So what we ideally see from the Nocturne is to farm Krugs, hit level 6, immediate gank. Right? Realistically, we shouldn't see that much action, despite the fact that Valkyrie probably wants there to be action. Because, let's be honest, in a team fight post like 25 minutes, it's going to look pretty dire if the teams are even in gold at that point. Yeah, it should be fun. This bot lane's going to be very, very versatile, though.
The bot lane will be very interesting. So, we see Nautilus missing the hook there. Not what he wants. He wants to try and get his Draven ahead early. And so, yeah, wasn't able to do that with there. Hopefully, he'll continue to look for that one. Yeah,
I really like the draft for hot pot in terms of bot lane, because obviously Lucian Nami, very, very high damaging in early bot lane. Now here we go.
There we go. So we see an engage coming in. Nautilus hits the hook there. Both teams hitting level 2. Draven picking up the first kill there. Cashes in on first blood. Cashes in on some gold. Nami pops her flash as well. Double sums come out from Nami. Double sums come out from Lucian. And that's first blood for Hot Pot Buffet.
And that is not good at all. Although you probably don't need me to tell you that. So the reason I really liked the bot lane here is because obviously Lucian Nami considered one of the stronger lanes in the game. However, it's not stronger than a Draven Nautilus, right? Particularly at that level 2. So, obviously, Hot Pot have just stared Valkyrie dead in the eyes and gone, you want to play for early game, so will we, right? And now it's just not looking very good because Hot Pot have drafted scaling champions on every other side of the map. So if the bot lane snowballs, then there's really not going to be an answer that I can see Valkyrie finding.
Most definitely. So yeah, the win con at this point or at every point in this game for Valkyrie is probably to get your Lucian to win his lane, to stop the one early game champ on the side of Hot Pot, and it's just not happening. So Nunai picked up the first kill on that Draven. He's picked up the Vamp Scepter. It's what he can do with this now will be interesting, but it could honestly dictate the pace of the rest of the game.
Absolutely. I think one thing I will say is that in terms of the picks that Hot Pot have drafted for themselves, they don't really offer much except for damage. Like, Vladimir is pretty much just a damage sustain tank at this point, especially when he gets to late. Draven, like, doesn't really have much versatility as a ADC. He just really outputs massive amounts of damage, right? And same with Yasuo.
And we see a gank coming in here from Diana, heading up the double E, gets knocked away though, and Brothers is going to get away on that one. Sorry to cut you off there, Pookie, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Gragas, very good weak side champion. Absolutely able to avoid all of those pesky ganks, particularly from a Diana pre-6, which is why it's so important for her to get that. Just a small little trade. Alright, so, this bot lane's going to get really, really difficult. We already see that Draven has a full Vamp Scepter over Lucian's nothing. So this is just not looking good. Nah, obviously shoving the Vladimir in. Vladimir, quite a weak champion before 6. really before 13, but able to sustain out of that because he is Vladimir. So we should be about to see the jungle matchup should start getting a little more interesting in about a minute and a half, because that's when they hit level 6, and that's when the ganks become very, very threatening.
Yeah, most definitely. At around that 6 minute, 37 minute mark, depending on how they've cleared. I know Diana has obviously made that gank mid lane. She didn't blow any sums. She didn't really get anything out of it, so I was going to say might be behind, but she has hit 5 before the Nocturne. Nocturne just hitting 5 now, so they're still on about equal path there. And we'll see some more action coming in soon when they hit 6 for sure. One thing to note, and I didn't take note of this earlier, and I could be wrong in saying this, maybe it's changed, but that is a lethal tempo on Diana, not something that I personally have seen too much.
I didn't even notice that. That is odd. You typically run, I want to say, Electrocute on Diana?
I believe...
No, Conqueror.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's Electrocute or Conqueror are the 2 runes that she's mostly swapped between. I haven't seen Lethal Tempo before.
Yeah, Lethal Tempo is a very odd one, because typically, in at least in this situation, Diana isn't really the the champion you want to stay around for extended trades. She's just there to ult and get the Yasuo in. Now, the Yasuo running Lethal Tempo, that I can understand.
Alright, so it looks like Hot Pot using their advantage here. They're going to pick up first dragon of the game at 6 minutes. That's an Infernal Dragon. Diana's still looking relatively healthy, and they're both pathing towards the mid lane. She has been spotted on vision, though.
Yeah. Also, it looks like what's his name? The Na is going for a Trinity or Divine Sunderer. I would expect probably Divine Sunderer in this situation, unless he wants to just try and one-shot the the Yasuo Diana before it happens with ult. Nocturne is probably about to hit 6 off this road buff, so this could be interesting.
Yeah, CS is looking like they're getting close to that point. It's about that point in the game.
Yeah, there it is,
Nocturne
level 6.
has hit the 6. A little skirmish coming in the top lane. We can see at this point Na kind of winning those trades, but that probably won't happen for too long.
Typically, the Vladimir matchups in general go from Vlad just getting bullied and trying to survive to Vlad being able to just kind of evenly trade to Vlad winning the trade, which is why he's powerful in top, because he can out-trade pretty much any top laner in the late game.
Yep, so we see Diana roaming around the topside river now. She has just hit 6 off her last camp. Again, Na taking an engage on top. I would have expected Diana maybe to path up there, but she does seem to be just wasting a little bit of time walking around, deciding on her pathing. It's going to set her back a little bit. Level 6 available for both of the junglers now, so I would expect to see a gank coming in very soon.
Yeah, small mistake for Diana. She didn't really have the intel and just assumed that Scuttle was up, but unfortunately the jungler Valkyrie had already snatched that one. Now, I will say that bot lane are playing very, very well. That resets on the bottom side. That they probably could have shoved another wave there, but they didn't have information on the Nocturne, and they decided to play it safe, which is absolutely the best idea. Now, this is not...
Yeah, so again, just a great disengage coming out from Gragas. Not really much to say about that one there. They looked for a setup. Diana kind of wasting a little bit more time again. Whilst doing that, you know, you can see that Herald was picked up for the side of Valkyrie there. Hot Pot Buffet still got the advantage on the Gob, still got the advantage on the Dragon, but they're not really doing anything on the map with it, minus that first blood that they got down the bot lane.
This looks like it could be a tower dive waiting to happen, especially with the Mega ramping up for the Na. Oh, no.
We see back coming out from... Okay. Maybe not. So we see Nocturne ulti coming in. Vlad uses his pull though, and he's gonna get out. So a lot of tower damage coming down onto Nocturne. He's had to back up. They had to fall back on that one. So again, another failed gank. This time coming from the side of Valkyrie. A very slow game. 9 minutes in, 1 kill on the board, and that was just from a small misplay level 2 from the bot lane.
Yeah, but think of how that misplay has snowballed. The Draven has now got almost a 30 CS lead on the Lucian, and that is translated into almost a 2k gold lead, which is almost entirely due to bot lane and a little bit mid lane. But yeah, this is not good, because this Lucian is going to definitely just suffer in team fights, especially with the Diana Yasuo combo that Lucian can't really get out of unless he sees it coming.
We do see Diana and Nautilus roaming up in the river. They might get spotted by the Nami there. See Diana going in. She pops her ulti, but we get a flash away from the Gragas. Ulti for a summoner spell, I mean, some would say worth, but at this point, I really think Hotpot needs to get off their feet if they want to push that lead. They do have the advantage at the moment. They can't hope to have it forever, although they do have that more scaling comp, but they kind of want to start picking that up and getting the game to where they need it to be sooner than rather than later.
Absolutely. The summoner spell loss of the Gragas, obviously, Gragas can kind of just play safe. He doesn't really need to like match the Yasuo in farm for the next few minutes, purely because of his CC will be helpful in a fight regardless of how much gold he is. However, the Diana being used does mean Nocturne has a lot of precedence on the map. We'll see if he's able to actually show that pressure anywhere.
Alright, little engage coming in from Nah there. Looks like it's probably just going to be a bit of a skirmish. Ulti coming in. He does put some damage down. That gets Vlad really low. Vlad pops the flash. Another flash coming from Nah, and that's a nice pickup from Nah. There we go. Very close to dying from the tower. Diana top lane. She might look to pick this kill up. But that's the trade kill that that Valkyrie really needed to kind of even up the game just a little bit. Still 1.4k gold behind, but that doesn't mean too much if they can make a couple more of those plays.
Yeah, absolutely. Not playing that to perfection, waiting out the pool, and then immediately ulting Vladimir. Vladimir without pool, kind of just just a sack of health. Can't really do much about that in the early stage, at least this early into the game. Definitely equalizes the gold lead and gives Valkyrie Warriors some play. Now the second dragon looks like Valkyrie Warriors are there first. Diana being in that top river again. This time she actually gets the scuttle.
Yeah, so Diana kind of being spotted. I believe she got potentially spotted, or at least they had an idea that she was on the top side as well.
Yeah, she cleared the ward.
Yeah, so they grab the dragon. Engage coming in from there. Nocturne ulting in. They're going to pick up the kill on the Draven. They're maybe going to look for more, but more than likely disengage. Diana and Yasuo are coming in from the side of Hotpot. Valkyrie might be in a little bit of a pinch here. We get an E over the wall from Gragas. Engage on top of the Nocturne and the flash out. Diana does follow with the ulti. Yasuo following up. We see a lot of things happening on the screen. Lucian somehow managing to pick up a kill before he falls. That's going to be another one down, and a final kill coming down onto the... Sorry about that one. Onto the Nautilus. A lot happening there. 3 kills picked up from the side. Actually, sorry, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that was 4 kills picked up for the side of Valkyrie. Only 1 kill picked up for Hotpot. And then they're going to place the Herald down too to grab, potentially grab this tower. At the very least, grab a few plates.
Yeah. Great fight for...
Another trade coming in on the top lane. I don't think anything's going to come of it, but he did get the Vladimir very low there.
So this is looking really bad for the Vladimir now, because he didn't bring teleport. He's now very low with a Mega Narb stacking up. That's a very easy
Draven flashing and looking for the kill onto the Nocturne. He does get CC'd away by the Gragas. He might pick up the kill on the Gragas here. And he does, so that's a kill. He might even pick up maybe another 2 here if they don't play it right. There we go, another kill on the Nocturne. Very big misplay from the side of Valkyrie. Yasuo also picking up the kill in the mid lane onto the Lucian. So, yeah, kind of... They picked up what they needed to. Valkyrie kind of had that advantage, and they just overstayed just a little bit too long.
Yeah, Draven, once again, they absolutely undervalue the power of Draven with the first power spike of the Eclipse buy that he came back with after that play. And now that great team fight that Valkyrie were able to get in the bot lane due to Diana only getting 1 with her ult, that is pretty much nullified at this point, and now Draven is looking very scary.
Yeah,
on the top side though,
they had a very big advantage over the side of Hotpot after that play. You know, Valkyrie made a great decision, and then they just gave it all straight to the Draven.
Absolutely, and Lucian roaming mid and then immediately solo dying to the Yasuo is definitely not what you want, especially when he's 40 CS down. The problem I'm seeing is that on the Valkyrie top side is absolutely, and that's great. However, the Vladimir can just safely scale, whereas Lucian can't really afford to do that. Like, he needs the gold, right? So this bot lane, especially with 3-in-1 Sheen Eclipse Draven against a Lucian who doesn't even have, like, he's not even like close to his mythic yet. He still needs about like 1k gold to get there. This is going to be looking really scary for this bot.
Another engage coming in the mid lane. Nothing major though. We see the Yasuo trying to disengage that one. Not a lot they can do. 3 members there, but also 3 members from the other side. And junglers also hovering around.
Yeah. So, setting up for Dragon, which should be happening in around, I want to say, 2 minutes. Look, the way
And we go Diana ulting in with the Yasuo combo. They get the Nami really low. They do pick up the kill on the Nami. Engage onto the Lucian as well from Nautilus. And they will pick up that kill. Nautilus taking the tower just to let his friends stay healthy. And they're definitely going to look to set up clear vision. Reset coming in from the Yasuo. Probably spend that gold. And we get a kill on the top side as well. From another play coming in the bot side as well. So much happening in this game. Trade kills happening left, right, and center. Hot Pot Buffet really taking the lead here. But the overall game state is just being traded back and forth repeatedly.
Yeah, absolutely. This Na is playing very, very, very well. He's pretty much the shining beacon of his team right now. The bot lane struggles are going to be very hard to overcome. With Na being as fed as he is, you can probably, your pretty much only hope is like Na roll into Gragas ult and you just one-shot Draven before he's able to actually get any output into the teamfight. This Nocturne has not actually provided their team comp with anything, which cannot be said the same for the Diana, which is going to constantly be providing teamfight prowess, whereas the Nocturne is absolutely going to fall off without that early pressure. Looks like we're going to see a team fight for Drake, but Na doesn't have any rage in his bar.
Yeah, so Na's going to be a bit of a weak link here. We can see most... Na actually looking for a flank. He's going to get engaged on by the Diana. Ulti coming in, Yasuo ulti dropping down. Nocturne ulti gets popped, but it doesn't look like he's going to engage on that one. Would be a bit of a death wish at the moment, and that's a kill coming in for Hot Pot Buffet.
Oh no. Ooh. So the good news for Hot Pot Buffet is typically they shouldn't get any.
Yeah, so Yasuo Windwall blocking the Nami ulti. I believe it was a barrel. I don't think it was an ulti coming out from the Gragas. Was that? No, it wasn't. But yeah, they're going to safely pick up that dragon, pick up the kill, and they're looking quite comfortable now after that one.
So pretty much all engaged tools were used on the Na, which is absolutely fine because it gave them a free Drake. But it also meant they weren't going to be able to realistically get any more from that without Hop Valkyrie making a serious mistake. Now, we are starting to see Vladimir reaching those higher levels. He's going to start to become very scary, particularly if you can't force out pull very easily. I can't really see a way for Valkyrie to get back into this game without a very good team fight. Gragas and Na are going to have to step up massively in order to output the damage that their ADC is unfortunately lacking after that early game.
Yeah, so we're at 18 minutes now. He still hasn't picked... Oh, there we go. He did just pick up his Mythic now. So Lucian grabs the Gale Force. He's going to swap out for a Farsight as well. Play a little bit safer. He is 1-4 at the moment. One thing to take note of, build-wise, because I have been looking at that just while you've been talking there, Pookie. Yep. Diana opting for that slightly more tankier build. So she went for her Nashes, but she's going into what looks to be... I believe it may be either a Sunfire or a Frostfire. I'm not too sure on what the tanky build for Diana is exactly. But she has picked up that Barmies, so she's definitely going into that.
Yeah, so that's very interesting, and I think the Barmies, obviously the Diana is not the main source of damage. We already talked about how, apart from the Diana and the Nautilus, their team is pretty much solely damage output, right?
Yep.
So Diana opting into a more tanky role, that's absolutely fine. They have enough damage regardless, especially with Draven being as fed as he is. Also, it works way better with the lethal tempo purchase.
We see Yasuo going in here. There's a lot of members from the side of Valkyrie, though, so Yasuo's going to get picked up. They might even pick up this very tanky Nautilus. It looks like he is going to get out there just from being tanky. He does get the re-engage. The rest of the team from Hot Pot around the corner. It might have been a little bit too early, though. Nautilus going to fall, but it looks like Diana picks up a kill. Probably going to be 2, and she might even get a 3rd. Lucian is heading up as well. Another fight happening in the bot lane as well between the Gragas and the Vladimir. I think it's a little bit more of a skirmish than a fight, though, so it looks... Oh, no! I stand corrected. And a very close trade, but Brattles does pick up the kill.
Yeah.
So there we go.
So,
yeah.
Great play out of Gragas for the solo kill. Also, pretty good bait out of the Na on the top lane, getting hit with the Yasuo knockup, knowing he overextended that. but was fine with getting hit by it purely because he knew his teammates were there, baiting him straight into a Gnar ult. Yasuo has no way of getting out of that. However, overextending for a Nautilus was probably not the ideal situation, particularly when your bot lane is getting gold on... Well, not your bot lane, but your Gragas is getting gold on the side lane, so... You know, in the end, it evens out again.
Yeah.
It just feels like every time Valkyrie giveth and then Valkyrie taketh away, unfortunately.
Yeah, very
The good news is
by happening in the bot lane, 2 members on top of the Yasuo. Yasuo doesn't get the ulti off, but only on Gragas. He has been feared by Nocturne, and that's going to be a kill yet again for Gragas. 5-1 on this machine of a mid lane.
Archangels as well. Oh dear. Yeah, Yasuo literally falling for the exact same bait that got him killed in the top lane. Probably should stop taking those fights in case if they don't have vision on the Nocturne, who can, even if he's like in a 30-meter radius, you're not going to win that fight. So with their good side laning and map rotations, Valkyrie have edged themselves slightly back into this. They've nudged it back to a 2k gold lead, which is pretty good considering you have a snowballing Draven. Now, the question is, can they keep this up? Because you really don't want to be behind in gold in this situation.
Yeah,
the Lucian is almost a null factor at this point.
On that topic, I think it is very easy for Hot Pot Buffet to keep it up if they stop getting picked. It's not about needing to make any flashy plays. Their team is capable. They have the strength. They play well together in a team fight, and they have the tankiness coming out from Nautilus and the Diana now. They have the sustain and the damage coming out from the rest of their team. They have the great combo with the Diana and the Yasuo. I think they just need to play teamfights properly and stop getting caught. If they get caught a couple more times, this Gragas is going to be an absolute force to be reckoned with, and the game could be anyone's game. A little bit of poking coming out from the Nocturne there, but it looks like both teams just kind of setting up for this Dragon, which will be up in less than 8 minutes.
Now, so, what's it called? Valkyrie have first entrance into the river, which is really good because their win condition at this point is Gragas killing, getting a pick on Draven. So we talked about earlier how their pick... Oh,
we're going to stop you there. We got a lot of poke coming out from the Gnar. He's about to hit Mega. Flashing in, I believe. There's a Nocturne ulti coming in. Yasuo hits the ulti. I'm not too sure if that was off of Diana, but it does look like it was. Valkyrie picking up most of the kills here. That's 4. That's going to be 5 for the ace. No, Vlad getting out. They're just going to turn around and take that Dragon happily, and that's put them in the position that they needed. Yeah, just like I said, kind of catching out Hot Pot like they have been.
We talked about how they've drafted a pick comp without resets and how it might come back to bite them. In this situation, it's exactly what they needed because almost all the gold is on that Draven, right?
Yeah.
So if you kill that Draven, they pretty much the Gnar, Mini Gnar, Mega Gnar straight into the Draven. Draven, I don't think had... Well, Draven didn't even use Flash. So if Draven uses Flash and gets out, that teamfight looks very, very different. But unfortunately, he got jumped on by the Mega Gnar, straight into a wall, Gragas ult directly on top of him, doesn't even get a chance to proc Eclipse. So, we probably need to see a bit of peel out of the Nautilus instead of engage, and yeah, so those picks that have been happening in the side lanes for the Gragas and the Gnar really coming back to bite Hot Pot here, so because despite the fact that they've drafted themselves a better team comp, those side lanes are just far too strong at this point in time.
Yeah, and speaking of kind of team comp, I mean, we did say that, you know, with the combo they've got, they do scale a little bit better into the late game. If the Gragas and the Gnar, who are kind of the two, in my opinion, the two strongest late game champions of the side of Valkyrie, have more gold than you know, the side of Hot Pot, which I would say they do at this point, since they're ahead in gold, and you know, those two are the champions that have most of the kills. Their AoE, their synergy in team fights, the way that they kind of work together and just kind of displace everyone and blow up the side of Hot Pot, it's just going to keep happening. We see potential engage coming out. Gragas jumps forward, Nocturne uses the ulti, jumps on top of Vlad, gonna get the fear off, but the rest of Hot Pot are just around the corner. They do manage to pick up the kill. Nami looking like she's also going to die there. Lucian there to back her up, but we're just going to see a flash over the ulti from Diana. Another engage on the Lucian. They're now looking for the Gragas. Hot Pot will gladly pick that one up, and yeah, maybe not the greatest play in the world for Valkyrie, who looked like they,
maybe not,
what
but
they were doing.
It does even out because Gnar's getting the inner tower, so, however, this could lead to a Baron.
Yeah,
so,
it does look like it's going to.
Yeah, especially with the Gragas off the table. Nard does have TP, but his Mega Gnar is about to run out. It's a very risky idea, and that is a free Baron for Hot Pot.
Yeah, so that Baron might bring them. This has been a very back and forth game. We've hit the 25-minute mark where I was confident the game would be decided by based on these two teams. And yet again, boy, have I been proven wrong.
Pretty much, if the game was still going, we thought Hot Pot was still in the lead, but somehow Valkyrie is scaling harder. So it should be a very interesting turn of events here. However, we saw in that first little fight for I think it was the second dragon, how easy it is to just pick off the Gnar and Mega if they get vision first. So getting onto that river for the next dragon fight, which I'm assuming both teams will want to contend for, getting vision early essentially means you get to do your engage before they get to be prepared for them. Right? Yeah. Especially when... Oh.
Okay, nice spell shield coming out from the Nocturne to block the hook there.
Yeah. So, currently it's essentially, can you kill the Dragon? And that becomes a lot harder if the Diana-Yasuo combo goes off before you get either Mega Gnar into your team or Gragasol into your team.
So we see, from what it looks like at the moment, Hotpot mostly just pushing out. I do agree that the Draven is a problem, but I think less so now than he was before. The rest of the team from Hotpot actually kind of output enough damage to make up for it now. He had the lead in the early game. He's still stronger than the Lucian. But, you know, Hotpot's kind of got a whole team that's a bit of a force to be reckoned with here, especially with the Yasuo Diana combo now as well. Yeah,
see, I agree. The Draven is the only one for me that... oh jeez, Gnar is straight up pushing inhibitor.
Okay, engage coming in from the Diana. She only gets one on that one. She has been exhausted, gets knocked up. Gragas is gonna probably pick that one up. Actually, Lucian picks up the shutdown. Another fight happening in base here. Gnar picks up the kill on Yasuo, which means that the rest of Hotpot are gonna have to back away, or Gnar's gonna pick up that inhib and possibly more. Engage coming into the Nautilus from Nocturne there. Nautilus flashing over the wall. Continued fight here, and it looks like you've got Vlad picking up a kill, going in for another 2. One more on him. A flash coming in from the Gragas, trying to pick up 2, but he only picks up 1, and we're going to see Vlad here try and chase down the Nami, who really has no way to stop him, especially with that move speed. Gnar is in the base, you are correct. And so while all this action is happening, that's a Nexus tower that's going to fall down, and a Nautilus who's not going to be able to stop him until this Vlad backs up.
Yeah. So, I'm very confused what the game plan was for Hotpot there, because, you know, Diana-Yasuo combo, very, very strong together. The Yasuo went to go fight the Gnar solo in base, which he is definitely not stronger than at this point in the game, and Diana decided to go in by herself for an ult. I'm not sure what the game plan was there, but thank God that Vladimir scales.
Yeah, so thank God the Vladimir scales for the side of Hotpot. I'm sure they're happy with that one. Yeah, you make a perfect point. I mean, the Diana really only ulted one person anyway. She got exhausted. It seemed like not a lot of thought went into that play, to be honest. And that's really put them in a tough position now where, you know, it could be anyone's game.
I think Vladimir was meant to follow up on that one.
We got a fight coming in. A lot of ultis being thrown down straight away. Nobody's lost any health yet, though. The Nocturne going in. Finally, some health bars dropping from the side of Hotpot. 1 kill. Make that a 2nd kill on Nautilus. A 3rd kill on the Diana. And they're going to look to, yeah, probably end off that one. So really good engage off the Nocturne and the Gnar there. It looks like that kind of engage pick that they had going for them has really, really worked in their favor. And they were able to execute that a little bit better in the late game than we were expecting, that's for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Just cleaner map rotations, to be honest. They were always at a numbers advantage every time they took a fight. Yeah, the Draven wasn't able to snowball as well as we anticipated. Despite the Lucian being genuinely a null factor, Nocturne providing pretty much only his ult and then a bit of damage.
Yeah, last-ditch effort coming in from the side of Hotpot, and no, it looks like Lucian manages to pick up that kill. Vlad's trying to get in there, but the Nexus will fall, and that goes over to Valkyrie. So that'll be the last time we see them two on the screen. Hotpot, unfortunately, not able to find their footing in this tournament, and that's going to land them on 0 wins, 5 losses for the end of groups for them.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I think that was a really hopeful game for Hotpot. I think they could have absolutely snowballed, but they just gave too much up in the side lanes. the Nara, the Gragas just got completely fed off solo kills that really shouldn't be happening, and they were able to just snowball this game. Yeah, there's not really much to say about that.
Yeah, without a doubt. I don't think there's a lot to be said. We kind of covered it back and forth. What we expected to happen, what happened. A lot of back and forth skirmishing, a lot of back and forth trading. I will say a very fun one to watch.
Sorry, you've just completely cut out. I'm not sure if that happened for the stream or just for me.
I think that was more than likely the good old league bug where you leave the game. Unfortunately, probably happened there. Either way, we kind of got to see, what we expected. We got to see the two teams skirmish, which is a really fun thing to watch. We will jump into emissions soon, unless you have any closing points, Pookie, if you want to go ahead with those.
My closing point is 12k on a Draven that was that fed is really, really unfortunate. To be fair, not much you can do. They didn't really draft any peeling options for him, and against a fed Gnar and Gragas, that is a very, very tough ask. But, yeah, unfortunate game for the Hot Pot. Very well played by the Valkyrie to be able to bring it back.
Yeah, most definitely. So we will be back very shortly with the big game of the night, which is Avalanche versus Massive. Be sure to watch that one, the one that really matters for the final standings of the group stages, and we will be back with you guys very shortly.
So you wanna go to war with me? You're talking like you think you're royalty. You think that I'm afraid, but I don't break. I heard you question my stability. You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne.
Okay, hello everyone, welcome back to the stream. Game 2 getting ready very shortly. We are just sitting in the lobby waiting for players to be in their positions. So, coming into Game 2, the big one, which is why we wanted to have a little bit of a talk about it here. This is the one that matters. This is Avalanche versus Massive. Now, I do hate to say it, but we will most definitely be seeing some form of Wukong, given the fact that Mind Goblin seems to really favor that champion.
Oh, God.
So I can only imagine it will be happening. That being said, I think we are getting into Champs League within only a couple of seconds here. So we will transition as soon as that happens. Okay.
Can't take my eyes
There
off
we
your
go.
avatar.
Alright, and we're in the Champ Select here. Let's see what these teams kind of decide to go with. I can only imagine, like I said, Wukong's going to be picked or banned without a doubt, but I am okay with that because we had a game without it and that's all I needed.
Yeah, just a small little break. It's okay. We'll get back to the Wukong now. Oh, a Gnar ban. That's interesting, actually. Gnar's typically very blindable. He's a good answer to a lot of things, but I'm not sure he's really. It's not really a necessary ban, I'd say. But Ari ban, that's fine. Yep, she's a strong mid laner. I would really like to see. I think Massive. I would really like to see Massive draft a really strong bot lane, like right off the bat, and just play around it with like an early game jungler. Maybe a Wukong ban.
Very interesting choice of champion there. It would be very good to see Massive try and focus on that bot lane, if that is their plan. Because I do know for a fact, and we see the Wukong ban come out anyway, actually from the side of Massive, so interesting to see. I guess they didn't want it to go first pick over to Avalanche. Now, on the side of Avalanche, Hooper and Assist Ping in the bot lane have been absolute monsters throughout this tournament. So whether or not Massive decide to try and combat that with an early game based bot lane and jungle, or if they just try and go for something that scales up a bit in the bot lane and play really safe and maybe put their resources elsewhere. That being said, you know, Dole in the mid lane has been amazing, especially on the Orianna as well, which looks as though it might get through the ban phase. And outside of that, the rest of the team from Avalanche is a very strong kind of overall team as well.
Viego ban's coming out. That limits the early game jungle pool quite a bit, actually. I'm quite interested to see what the pickup is for the both jungles in this situation. Let's see what the first pick is. It's like they're thinking about it, and it's going to be a Karma. Okay, Karma can be flexed. It can be pretty much anywhere on the map apart from jungle, and I guess ADC. If it is going to the bot lane, there are quite a few things that work with it. One thing I could expect is maybe an Olaf top. Olaf top to follow up a Karma is Karma boosting the Olaf with the shields and the speed boost. That is a very dangerous top laner. An Ornn straight off the bat, alright, and that pretty much signals that yes, Massive are going to be playing for bot lane. Because Ornn, very, very strong blind, can pretty much answer every single challenge that is thrown at him. Gwen jungle. Okay. Oh, no, Lilia. Oh, this is way more interesting. Okay, so Lilia, very interesting jungler. Quite a weak early game. However, she does make up for it in the late game. Darius to counter the Ornn. This is great. Darius into the Ornn counter, that is a very, very strong top side. Ornn get melted by that Darius, especially from the durability update. Darius don't care. Damn, he's got hemorrhage. The Zeri gets locked in. Zeri Karma is a very strong combination. Especially Karma Darius is also a very strong combination. This is really interesting. Both teams have drafted quite well so far, I would say. The Renata to stop the Darius, who was absolutely going to be running Ghost, and the Zeri from getting onto the enemy team. It's an interesting support pick. I wouldn't necessarily say it needed to be the third pick.
Yep. Sorry, I'm letting you take over this one, Poogies, if we have a small issue on the other side of the bracket that I'm taking care of.
Right.
Feel free to continue with the... Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I'll deal with that. So, the LeBlanc ban, I'm not sure LeBlanc ban is really necessary considering the champion's state in the meta currently, but maybe there's very strong laner that they're afraid of. Well, so both teams are drafting fairly passively, except for a certain Darius pick. Lily obviously wants to just scale, hit a 4-man sleep, on engage onto that, and bada bing, bada boom. And then the Orianna ban, we know that the Avalanche mid laner is a very, very strong Orianna player. So, yeah, should be... that ban is understandable, to say the least. Now, I'm really interested to see what ADC is locked here. It wouldn't be meta, but I would kind of like to see a Twitcher... Well, Twitch is meta, but I would like to see a Kaiser, I want to say. Kaiser would probably work quite well with their team comp, especially with the ult into whoever Ornn hits with his knock-up engage. However, you know, it doesn't really pair well with Renata, so maybe not. Yeah, probably someone who wants to play safe and just poke. You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking.
I will jump in just 2 seconds. Like, and I apologize for everyone watching the stream as well.
No, it's alright. It's just Callista. Alright, that is a interesting bot lane. I'm not sure the synergy between Callista and Renata, to be honest. But I know Callista is a very strong early game champion. Well, typically you'd want one of those considering you've got Ornn in the top lane. Gangplank mid. That. Hoy. What is going on? Is that a Darius jungle? Oh, it is. It's a Darius jungle, isn't it? Unless they don't lock in this Aurelion side.
Okay, so I'll jump in here now. So very interesting picks coming up. Okay, what I was going to say is it could be a Gangplank mid, but it doesn't look like it now that they've picked up the Victor. Let me try and summarize the best.
It is a Darius jungle. It is a Darius jungle. That is scary. That being said, I'm not sure. I think. Oh my god. No, I was excited for a moment.
Yeah, so very interesting. It could be a Darius jungle. It actually does look like it will be. Which is a very strange one. And Azir, I know that's something that you definitely have some experience with. We will be focusing on the broadcast now. I will be closing out of the Discord to make sure that there's no fuss here.
Let's go. Azir game. Alright. Just a few final thoughts on this draft. Darius is a stronger early game champion than Lilia. However, without Ghost, Lilia can just run away from him. There's not really much he can do. Victor versus Azir is pretty much an even lane. I'd say Victor's quite a bit stronger in the meta than Azir is currently. However, the real value of Azir, it comes in terms of the gameplay. Because Azir's soldiers can destroy gameplay barrels.
Yes.
So that's probably the idea behind it. That and the Azir's got a very good ult, can push the Darius off, just keep him at arm's length while the Callista is just stacking. Yeah. The Renata, I'm not sure really works that well into this team comp because it's not like it's not like Avalanche want to engage particularly well. It's really just the Darius. But it looks like pretty much every player here is playing for lanes except for the Ornn. The Ornn is the only one who I can see has been locked in for the team fight prowess. The Azir versus Victor matchup, both just want to scale. The bot lane is going to be a bit volatile, though. It's going to be a bit explosive. So, should be fun to watch.
Okay. Again, I really apologize to everyone on the stream for that, but back to the point here. Very interesting picks coming out. Darius Jungle, something to definitely look out for. I know you've gone over it, so I'm just going to summarize my thoughts here. Zeri, as we spoke about earlier, I'm not a huge fan of it. Interested to see what Hooper can do with it, though, because he is, I believe, still one of the top 50 players OCE, one of the best ADCs OCE. An amazing player on that front. Callista, again, another weird one that I don't think we've seen in the tournament at all. And I have never seen Callista be played with Renata, so that's something to look out for as well. Yeah. We are going to jump to the intermission so I can make sure that everything is sorted so that there'll be no interruptions during the game itself. Past that, though, we will be back with you guys, and we will be having an amazing game for everyone to watch. Thank you all for being so patient.
Azir game, let's go.
Sorry about that, guys. We've actually had a small weird bug on stream with transitions, but we...
about to sink. I don't wanna just forget you, but I wanna be fine. I'll be waiting for a sign to light up, yeah. And your heart is out of sight. I just wanna feel mine. Hey you, I could become the one for another one. Hey you, maybe then you'll know that I was never one. I'm gonna be the one for another one. Maybe then you'll know that I was never one. I'm gonna be the one for another one. I don't wanna fear you tonight. Got me. Got me. Yeah, me, got me, got me. Can I hear you? Got me. I don't wanna see you. I don't wanna hear you tonight. I don't wanna fight you. You don't wanna know if I feel alright. Thought you'd call, but you didn't, so I'm sitting here. Thought I heard my phone ring, but it disappeared. Guess I'm just losing my mind again. I tell myself to breathe in, but the darkness sung its teeth in, and its mind has got me thinking. Sick and tired of feeling, so sick and tired of dreaming. 'Cause I always wake up. Sick and tired of believing that this pain will never end. Oh, I've had enough. Cause it always comes back again, and I'm not even gonna pretend that it's okay. Constantly putting bad thoughts on replay. I really don't like living life this way, but I know that these things will never change. Tell myself to breathe in, but the darkness sun gets deep in, and its mind has got me thinking. So sick and tired of dreaming, 'cause I always wake up. Sick and tired of believing that this pain will never end. Oh, I've had enough.
Okay, and welcome back to the second game of today. Like we said, really big, really important game. And I have... Oh, sorry about that. I do have to fix up the camera there. Okay. And we're ready to go here. So, based on the draft, as we spoke about earlier, Pookie, if you want to lead us into some more of the picks here. And we can see also a 5-stack cheese, potentially.
I'm just observing. Because I thought this was very bold and...
Okay, and we see an engage coming in. from the Renata, and they're going to pick up the kill. First kill goes onto Callista. That's going to be a very big one for the side of Massive over here, which is going to let them really kind of snowball, hopefully, in the bot lane and stop that Zeri from getting online.
Yeah, absolutely negate some of the pressure that Akama's going to inflict onto this bot lane. Well, let's talk draft. So, interestingly, with the Darius jungle, I thought it was a Darius vs Ornn matchup because that is a pretty good counter pick for the Ornn, for the Darius. Sorry, it's not. It's a gameplay counter, which is a little less like strong in the another fight. Sorry, just a small little skirmish.
Yeah, a little skirmish coming out onto Renata. Didn't really get the position she wanted. The ward in the bush probably caught her off, and she lost some health there. But that's okay. I'm sure Massive is still happy with the first blood they got.
Yeah. So absolutely interesting. Quick note: Ornn is running Teleport Ignite. Ornn, being a very, very tanky champion, doesn't necessarily need the flash, but still usually takes it nonetheless. So that kind of displays that he's going to be playing a little more aggressively into this lane, which is fine. Gangplank can't really touch Ornn early game, so Ornn gets a little bit more freeway. The Azir vs Victor is interesting. The Victor is a lot of damage output. The Azir is also a lot of damage output, but I think his main use in this situation is actually just to put a wall between him and the Darius. Just does not... That Darius is a major threat. Do not let it get on top of your team. Their team is quite squishy, particularly with the Ornn not really providing the best front line against a Darius because of the lead. So having that nice little wall where they can just say no to the Darius is great. The Lilia is a interesting lock. I think they can probably do a few combos with it, but it'll be interesting to see how that plays out in a team fight. It scales quite well and does quite a bit of damage, so no real problems there. The bot lane is very interesting.
Yes.
Because I've never seen Renata played with a Callista, and I don't think Renata fits very well into what either team are trying to do here, because typically Renata, very strong into high engaged teams, just turns it back around on them. Doesn't really work against a Gangplank.
We do see Ghost Pop from Darius there was really looking for something, but he does just... Oh, sorry, I believe he was looking to get away. He's perfectly fine, though. Yeah, nothing really coming of that. He's lost his summoner spell, which isn't amazing.
That's a very important summoner to get out as well, because Darius' ganking pressure without it is very weak.
Yeah, very much Darius... like a... You can think about it like a... sort of like a Mordekaiser jungle, where without it, he's really not going to get any ganks off pretty much at all.
Yeah. Darius is also a... bit of a snowball champion.
Okay, Gate's coming down to Callista. Ignite popped as well. She's going to have to flash away. Very well played by Assist Ping there, getting her caught on that one. And they're going to blow the Summoner spell, which will give them a little bit of an advantage, but it was a 1-for-1. Callista's going to have to play slightly safer now, though.
Yeah, so one interesting thing to note, when Renata hits Zeri with ult, Zeri does not use her Q auto, her main source of damage and her pretty much a normal actual auto attack. She uses her little finger gun. Right?
Yep.
Which is probably the reasoning why the Zeri has brought Cleanse, because Zeri is actually doing nothing in the Renata ult. So just cleansing that Renata ult straight away allows you to just straight up impact the fight. I don't think we'll see any flashy Azir plays in the team fight either, because you're either gonna get Zeri or Victor or Darius, and Darius is definitely the worst idea you could get Azir ult. But Zeri will just jump right back over the wall. So it doesn't really make sense to go for any of those plays. I'm really interested to see how these team fights play out, though, because they've got the Ornn, but I can't really see how Massive are going to actually follow up on any of the damage the Ornn Engage provides. Because the Callista, very short range champion, they'll have to walk up, and by walking up, they're walking up into a Victor Darius Gangplank as well. So I'm interested to see how it plays out. I don't think it's a complete draft difference in the team fighting aspect. But
a little skirmish coming in the top lane. Just wanted to take note of that. They're both quite strong, but also quite tanky champions in the early. So not expecting much to come out of the top lane, but there was a lot of damage coming down for both of them actually.
I actually think that if Ornn hits 6 here, that this should be a kill, because Gangplank will just have to run away, eat some oranges, it's possible. Ornn is quite strong early game because it is a beautiful W cheating mechanism, I like to call it, which is just max % health. So he outputs quite a bit of damage for a late game. This lane position isn't great for the Gangplank either. It looks like the Darius and the team of Avalanche are going to snatch up the first dragon, which is, understandable. The Darius, nobody ever wants to walk into a Darius in pit. I would have liked to see Lilia try and exploit the fact that Darius does not have Ghost right now.
Yeah, so that's definitely something to take note of. Like we said, not having Ghost really makes him quite vulnerable. That being said, I don't really think Lilia can fight him, and she doesn't really have amazing pre-6 ganks either.
Absolutely not.
So it's not necessarily something she can take too much of an advantage of. She could potentially just look to maybe get a bit more vision around the map and things like that, so she doesn't have to be so afraid of the Darius.
Yeah. Roam from Azir going to the top lane. If he was able to stream shuffle the Gangplank, that is a confirmed kill. Azir got very good gank potential with his, dash wall straight into a Lilia. Nothing Victor would really be able to do in that situation except to flash the wall.
Yep.
Right, so I would expect that Lilia just at some point will just come trotting into that lane and just grab the summon spell for free. One of the strengths of Azir mainly. A CS lead. Oh, sorry. That's just a small trade. A bit of a CS lead on the bot side. The Zeri Karma both have fairly good poke, so it's quite a punishing lane for the Renata and Callista, who can answer but not as strong. Darius is looking for something on the top side. I can't really see what his plan is here, considering it's an Ornn under tower. But
okay, a little engage there coming out. We get the Gangplank ulti pop. We get also the Ornn ulti pop. Orange is coming out, gets the heal off, and it looks like potentially they both get out of that one. Very surprisingly, we see a lot of members coming up from the side of Massive though.
That is will be able to kill the Gangplank.
Yeah, so Lilia chasing down the Gangplank. Zia chasing down the Gangplank. There's no way that Gangplank gets out.
This will probably be gifted, yeah.
Yeah, and
gifted straight to the
Another fight happening in the bot lane as well. We see... Wow, okay, so the Rend coming down. That's going to pop the kill onto... Okay, a lot of things happening there. Kill popped onto the Karma. Potentially trying to keep on for life there, but it didn't happen. And it looks like a kill might come out from... Possibly either end here. No. Looks like Renata going to just try and leave this one. Flash coming out. Hooper chasing. Jumping over the wall. Very interesting play. It looks like Hooper will pick this one up, though. Potentially not. And no, there we go. Very back and forth.
Yeah, so... started off with the top lane duel. Ornn realizing he has kill potential. Gangplank managing to flash out of the Ornn ult. If that Ornn ult hits, that Gangplank is dead. So a good summoner spell... A good use of summoner spells for both teams there, because the Ignite also allows for more kill potential. This isn't looking
another fight coming out. Their ulti actually pushing them forward. Lilia getting quite low. Victor looking for the kill. He does pick that one up. So, wow, a lot of things happening back and forth.
Alright, so, clean play from the Azir. Make sure that the Darius can't run out, and that the Victor also has no escape method. It does kind of get his teammate killed in the process, but, it's kill for a kill. This means that this Callista is now 2-1-2, so that is a sizable gold lead despite the CS difference. I don't think Ornn has kill potential here. Gangplank can just run away. However, Gangplank is going to have to be very careful when that Ornn horn comes out. Jeez, man. Yeah. I think the Renata Callista is such an interesting pairing.
Yep.
Because I think their passives kind of complement each other in a way. But, yeah, I'm interested to see what role Renata will play in the larger team fight, because I don't think Avalanche have any intentions of diving the backline. So
no,
it'll be interesting.
What I'm more interested in seeing is whether or not they can use it more aggressively. So you would think, Callista ulti, a lot of the times, unless used with like a mega tank, it's used kind of as a defensive maneuver. In this case, I'm wondering if Renata ulti being quite a hard ulti to hit in terms of like the speed that it travels at, if they use it to close the distance at a sudden moment to try and get that Renata ulti off. I'm not too sure how it will work. It's not something I've seen been done before at all, let alone pulled off successfully. But I am wondering with as we said, you know, the Azir's not really going to pick many people out, but maybe with that combo there, maybe if they can...
Oh, that's an interesting thing.
really kind of get both of those ultis into one. Maybe Azir pushes them into a position, the Kalista ulti throws down the Renata, and all the team members are all of a sudden fighting each other. That could be the combo they're going for.
That is a potentially a very flashy combo. Just the Azir ult straight into the Renata ult.
It is a very flashy combo.
Picking off all that side, picking off all the opponents on that side of the wall. That is definitely something I'd be very excited to watch play out.
One thing I want to point out as well is the fact that everyone on the side of Massive kind of has those team fighting ultis. You've got Lilia who can really Q and ult everyone. You've got, of course, Ornn coming in with the huge team fight ulti that everyone knows.
Yeah.
I mean, you've got Azir who can, you know, really push people out of position or maybe even group them up. Kalista, of course, you know, again, the way we were talking can be used for that sake. And then, without a doubt, Renata ulti being quite a big one too. So if they can make something like that happen, and it's a big if because they're playing against a team who obviously knows what they're doing. But if they can make that happen, it could be very interesting.
Just a Hexgate, what's it called? A Mountain Drake picked up for the side of...
Side of Massive there, yeah. So we've got a Hex Dragon on the side of Avalanche and a Mountain Dragon on the side of Massive over here. Now, okay, then he whiffs the ulti. He does get stunned down as well, quite low, but I do think he's going to manage to get out. Lilia there to back him up.
Yep, unfortunate whiff. He probably... Yeah, no, there's really not much you can say about that. It's unfortunate when it happens.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. Something I want to take note of is that the teams are within 200 gold of each other, 300 gold of each other. Very close in gold, very close kind of overall in the map. Both teams have a dragon. I do believe one team has picked up Herald. There we go. So it's being placed mid. So that may look to maybe give a small advantage. A flash coming out from assist being there on the Karma. Looks like he might still get caught out. Renata ulti coming down. Hooper does jump over the wall though. Looks to pick up the Renata. He does manage to pick her up. Pops the cleanse as well. I'm not too sure what exactly he was cleansing there, but it looks like it's going to be a 1-for-1. 3-1 on the Zeri though. That could be a bit of an issue.
That is very scary, especially with the Karma backing her up.
Yeah, most definitely. And it looks like double thumbs also potentially came out from Karma in that fight. The Ignite might have been popped the fight before, but both of them on almost max cooldown at this point, and also exhaust coming out from Kalista as well.
So, in terms of summon spells, two things to note. Both mid laners are about to get their flashback. This pretty much signals to the enemy junglers that Victor is, you know, not really as gankable as you would like, because, you know, you can just flash the Azir. The other thing I want to talk about is you talked about the team fighting ultimates of the team of...
Massive over there, yep.
Right. I agree. I think what it's going to come down to is whether Avalanche can get vision on objectives. Because if they can just use the Gangplank leverage, right? And that's pretty much the ideal way of fighting this, right? If you get onto River first and like, there we go.
Alright, okay, interesting one coming out there as well. Looks like they're most definitely going to pick up the kill on Darius, but they're going to lose their jungler for it. And they're out of position now, so you see Zeri running down the support, Renata over there. You see Azir trying to get away, being followed as well. I have without a doubt a fact that this Renata is going to fall. Okay, so Renata did fall there. Azir also falling. That's going to give Avalanche the advantage they really needed. 4-1 on this Zeri. We talked about briefly how I personally don't think Zeri is the greatest pick. But Hooper making this champion shine. He knows what he is doing.
Yeah, I think Zeri is actually very strong right now. Basically because she has really no weaknesses that can be exploited. I think.
Okay, interesting fight coming out top lane. Ignite's being popped. Ulti is being popped. Ornn running down the GP, but now he's sitting in the GP ulti, losing a little bit more health than he probably wanted to.
So a small little mistake from the Ornn there. He didn't proc the second brittle before using his W, so he only got one brittle proc. If he gets the other brittle proc, it's a lot more dangerous to that Gangplank. As such, he can just walk out.
Yep.
Yeah, so the Darius invade, I'm not sure what the plan was. That is a Darius, and you've got 3 people on top of him. That's a pretty easy Q for the Darius to land just to survive that extra bit longer, and now you've taken a massive amount of damage, and the enemy bot lane for Avalanche is closer to the fight. They can just clean it up. Victor obviously just rotating and gets a kill, and Ornn oversays. Can we check what Orna's put Anathemas on?
Something we can attempt to do. Give us a second while we wait. We will have to wait till he respawns, I believe.
I would assume it's on the Victor, but I have no idea why you'd want to build that first, unless you're just putting it on the Gangplank for now, and then putting on the Victor
I was
later
about to say, it may have just
armor.
been to put it on the Gangplank. He's up against a reasonable amount of mixed damage, so he doesn't necessarily need to go for any one specific item. I mean, you've got the barrels, which are going to chunk him regardless. GP is going to pick up this top tower at the moment, though, so very unfortunate. 1 kill on the Orn, and he picks up the tower for it.
Yeah, and a nice little 30 CS lead, a 20 CS lead in the mid lane, and a completely even bot lane, except for the fact that Zeri is completely destroying the enemy team.
Yeah, without a doubt.
That is a really odd Anathemas. Like, I cannot wrap my head around that, because a lot of Ornn's early damage comes purely from Barmy Cinder. And Barmy Cinder, in fact, got a buff where the cost of it has been lowered. I would have no clue why you would build Anathemas and then taking that.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a skirmish happening after the Dragon. Dragon's been reset, not something I necessarily like. Engage coming down onto Renata, I believe. No, sorry, it was onto... I've completely lost in this fight. We see a kill picked up on Ornn, though. Kill picked up on Renata. It looks like Avalanche is just completely winning this fight. Hooper popping off yet again. 6-1 and 1 on the Zeri. We see Mind Goblin trying to kind of get a little bit back with that E there. But yeah, definitely going in the favor of Avalanche. That being said, Massive did pick up that Dragon.
I would agree with you that the Dragon pickup is good. Unfortunately, it is a Cloud Soul, so getting that to Soul Point is not the massive win condition that you'd hope it is. Azir ults, which means he didn't ult in that last team fight, which, you know, I'm not really sure how that happens. This is probably going to be a double kill for me. Yep, he's just gonna run and he's gonna die.
There is no way he doesn't get caught here. Yeah, there we go.
And boom. So the Victor is absolutely fed now. So what I was talking about earlier is the point of the Azir is to get the Zeri and the Darius off for the time being. Because obviously Zeri's just gonna jump in at some point and Darius wants to run in and proc his ult.
Yes.
The only assumption I can make is that the Azir ult was on cooldown. Because that is not what happened in that team fight, he just didn't use it.
Yeah, so at the moment, I can see that it's on cooldown now.
Yeah.
I'm not sure at which point it got completely popped, or if it was active or not when you were mentioning that, unfortunately. We don't have access to the replay feature today, which is a bit of a downer. That is because we are on a different setup at the moment, so we apologize for that. But it's something that would be nice to have seen. That being said, 7k gold up for Avalanche right now.
This Victor is a monster at this point in the game, as is the Zeri, as is the Darius. And the Gangplank ain't looking too shabby with his scaling either. This is going to be a very hard game.
Not a lot to comment on that one there. Victor just completely blowing up the poor Kalista there, and that's just another kill over to him. More gold in his pocket. He's going to look to maybe push the tower. He has a support nearby too. And like I said earlier, the two people to look out for really is of course Hooper, and then also Dole in the mid lane. He's done amazing. And they see an engaged going down onto Hooper, pops the cleanse to get out of the Lilia ulti sleep, picks up the kill on Lilia as well. And he's going to look for more. He's not satisfied with just one. He does have assist ping around the corner. He's getting quite low though. And he does actually burn away to what may have been... Was that a...
Azir, it was Azir. Leandris.
There we go, Leandris. Correct.
Yeah. Ooh,
another fight happening here. Pirate Pack getting caught just a little bit, but he does manage to get out. Quite a tanky Ornn in the top lane. And again, he looks like he has reprocced his Anathemas onto someone new. I unfortunately can't check you, but it has been reprocced now.
So he's not that tanky because he's built Anathemas, and the person he procced it on isn't even there. So he's not as tanky as he could be at this point. Look, I've already touched on it. The Anathemas doesn't make sense, but it's alright. It's now two level gold lead. Why did gold lead come into that? It's now 2 level lead for the Gangplank in that top lane, especially when you've built your first item completely dependent on assuming. At least it was completely dependent on stopping 30% of that Gangplank's damage. That's really not good. The Azir isn't behind per se. It's just that Victor's really far ahead, thanks to the team fights and skirmishes that Avalanche have completely outplayed Massive in. And unfortunately, the Callista is keeping up with the Zerian farm, which is great. That is a shining beacon. But for a Callista that got first blood, having the Zeri be 7 kills is not looking good.
Yeah, so look, Callista, not a champion. I mean, look, I've said my piece on both Callista and Zeri. Neither two are champions that I would personally pick myself. Again, I wasn't able to pay as much attention in champ selects as I would have liked, so I'm not sure if maybe some other champions were banned out. I know some big ones are Jinx, Aphelios, things like that. They're more what I was expecting to see. The Callista, definitely not what I was expecting, and this is probably why they had...
This is so ballsy.
This is a very ballsy play. Yeah, Gangplank ulti. And it looks like they might try and look for the pick here on Victor. He's getting a lot of damage down there, but he will fall. That's a shutdown over to Callista. I wonder if she can come back online. Callista getting quite low. Flash coming out from 7-hour nap. He's burning away. He does manage to die there from Hooper. Another kill onto the Zeri. And they're going to keep going with it. In the backline right now, but it doesn't really matter. Hooper doesn't care. Picks up another kill. Actually, that one goes over to Gangplank. A second one over to Gangplank. And they're going to look to take down this Azir tower and see what they can do with this 8k gold leads. 9k gold lead they've managed to bag.
And that is a Baron. I think this game is not looking good for the side of Massive. So, on the Zeri pick, I think Zeri is quite a really good pick here, because with the Jinx and Aphelios, you want to pick champions that can, like, you know, protect the Aphelios, protect the Jinx, let them get their damage out. In this, for the team comp that Avalanche have drafted, pretty much every champion is self-sufficient.
Yes. Except
for maybe Victor. The Karma absolutely can just boost the shields along the way, make it much easier for the carries to do their job. But the problem is there's 4 carries. So, yeah, I think the Zeri's fine here. The Renata, once again, I'm not really sure about that pick. But at this point in the game, it doesn't really matter. We haven't seen the team fighting prowess from the side of Massive that we wanted to. The side of Avalanche were just too far ahead thanks to skirmishes, and that's a victory. Victor quitting the game.
Victor AFK, and that is a pause as well.
Look, I would too.
And, give me 1 second here. What will happen now, we'll potentially wait out this pause and see what happens when we have a little bit of a discussion. Pauses, unfortunately, when you are spectating, do cause some glitches and bugs, so we may see some jittering happening throughout the game. Which we'll try and get on top of as soon as possible. Now, a couple of things to go into while we have this time to talk and everything is all calmed down for the time being. So, into picks, like you were talking about with the team fighting not really being able to kind of come through for the side of Massive, it was all a bit of a pipe dream. I think what I had theorized earlier, you know, with the all champions having kind of a team fight, all champions being able to play together really well. Like I said, they were up against Avalanche, or they still are up against Avalanche. There is no doubt that trying to make that work was going to take a lot of effort. And
absolutely.
It looks like maybe they weren't able to do it.
Yeah, so it looks like a bit of a lane mountain, to be honest. But see, the interesting thing about it was, in the early game, both teams were even. In fact, I'd say Massive were actually a little bit further ahead. It's just, I would... Both teams scale pretty well. However, there's a few skirmishes where, for some reason, that's the unpause.
Okay, give me 1 second. Sorry to cut you off, Pookie. I'm going to quickly jump to an intermission to get this sorted because I know that the game's going to start bugging out in just a moment after the pause. So we will transition and give us 1 moment, guys. We'll be back very shortly.
You don't know what goes on behind these eyes. You don't know the loneliness hidden inside. You don't know I wanna eat you up alive. Come and get to know me, my type of wild. I'm the kind that spins you and hangs you dry. Well, I'm already on to another side. If you gave me your whole life, I would still have room for more. Cause I've got that appetite. Baby, I never feel whole. You might get me through the night, but it will never be enough. It will never be enough. Cause I'm a black girl for your love. Cause I'm a black girl for your love. Cause it's true, no, everything they say about me, I'll suck you, no, to my center of gravity.
Okay, sorry about that. We did have some small glitches on that after the pause. We've got that sorted now. We are straight back in just before where we left off. So that was...
And there we go, and there goes Victor.
Reconnect, so we don't have to worry about that pause anymore. So we can see Avalanche picking up their second dragon. That's going to even out the dragons. That's going to put them at a solid 9.5k gold lead. Actually, that's going straight up to 10k gold lead. Avalanche really dominating this game.
Yeah, I'm not really sure there's any hope for Massive, but you know, they've got Ornn and Azir, so obviously I'm rooting for them. One thing I'd like to say, one thing I'd like to take note of, the double Zhonya's from the side of Massive. There's not really any burst damage that the Zhonya's can negate, except for maybe Victor ult. So building the defensive item second, when you need to just explode that Zeri before she's able to output that damage, I think is a shaky call. However, at this point, randomization does not really matter. That is a 10k gold difference. Victor has a full Rabadon's over Azir's nothing. Gangplank has a full Essence Reaver over Ornn's nothing. Lilia has a... Wait, no. Darius doesn't have a full item over his counterpart, so we're looking good there.
He's very close though. He's very... not necessarily actually. No, they both do have components. So yeah, continue.
Yeah, Zeri is ahead in gold, but no, honestly, Callista's keeping up fairly well. It's really just the Victor and the Darius that no, Victor and the Gangplank, sorry.
Yeah, Victor and Gangplank.
Very far ahead.
In fact, I think that's like a weird position by building that Anthemas as a first item, which was very interesting as we saw.
Yeah.
Probably set him behind just a little bit. CS advantage in the top lane, sitting at about 70 CS on.
Well, to be honest, it's not even that it's set him behind. I think Anathemas is fine, but if you're taking Ignite, you're going for a kill lane.
This is true.
And Barmies gives you a lot more damage that Ornn would otherwise not have.
Now, so what I do wonder here, Pookie, and I want your thoughts on this, sorry to interrupt. I wonder if that Ignite was only taken with the intent to take Spellbook and the runes were maybe done wrong.
That is also a possibility. Yeah, but Ornn almost never doesn't go Grasp. It's just too good on him with like the Brutal proc and the Grasp providing a lot of damage that you wouldn't expect out of a late game tank.
Yeah.
However, Spellbook is obviously viable, and it's possible, but I'm not sure because you know Flash isn't necessarily needed on Ornn. It's just more of a. It's more of a, if you're going to build Anathemas, why didn't you just take Flash?
Okay, a fight's about to break out. Ornn hits the ulti in. Gangplank trying to stop the rest of Massive with his ulti. Zhonya's being popped as well as the ulti from Azir. And maybe nothing will come of this. No, there we go. So that was the ulti coming in. The ulti lands down from the Renata as well, just like I expected. I don't think it's enough, though. Damage coming out from Hooper on this Zeri play. Look at this damage. Look at this player. He is going insane. 9-2, and he's about to pick up another one. Call him 10-2. Darius running down the base. Probably about to finish it off too. Oh no, and the Zhonya's actually stops him, but I'm pretty sure Victor's going to clean that one up. And this very well is likely going to be the end.
Yep, absolutely domination out of Avalanche from the bot lane and the mid lane. I won't lie to you, I got hurt a little bit with the Azir double flash. that hit me right where it hurt. But yeah, I'm really excited for the semi-finals. Well, even that, I'm really excited for when Avalanche inevitably play Weekend Warriors. I think that'll be a really brilliant match to watch. Very strong showing from Avalanche today. GG.
Yeah, very well played. Very great game. Look, Avalanche played the game really well. Massive kind of looking a little bit weak tonight in comparison, but we cannot forget the fact that before this game they had easily picked up 4 wins under their belt. So Massive still an extremely strong team, a force to be reckoned with. Massive, I believe, in the next game in the semifinals, will go up against Weekend Warriors. I don't think that's going to be changed. I don't think there's any way for Weekend Warriors to be knocked off the top spot, although I could be wrong in saying that. But I'll double check on that. I'm pretty sure there's no way for them to get knocked off the top spot. However,
I think they can do a 3-way tie.
There can be a 3-way tie, I think, for second place. I don't think anyone can take them away from first.
Okay.
So, teams will be competing in the second bracket for a 3-way tie in the second place, and then they'll play some playoff games or some tiebreaker games for that. Inevitably, though, I think that locks in one of the matches, which will be Weekend Warriors versus Massive for the semi-finals. It is just a matter of who Avalanche get to play, and we'll find out potentially after tonight, or we may have to go into some tiebreakers in the following days. So keep an eye on social media for that one if you want to see who Avalanche will be facing off against in their first semi-finals game. We will transition over to our intermission screen while we get prepared for the next game, which will be, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but Weeknight Warriors versus C9 Crow Academy.
Absolutely. That is beautiful.
We will see you guys very shortly.
See you then.
It's my time, watch me build another life. Find another space, explore the world and find my place. Hope you find some peace of mind. Hope the night was worth your time. Threw my heart away, we won't see another day. We both know the score, we've been here once before. So many words unspoken, you took my heart, it's already broken. You don't have to wait, I can take the pain. I will surrender, let me go. It's a new adventure. On the new adventure. Adventure.
Mama said you're meant to burn as bright as a star among the midnight sky. All the pressure blinded me, but now I see I'm no different from the rest. You said I'd fly away, but my walls have kept me down. Now I'm lost and I'm afraid, and I'm close to hit the ground. You said I'd fly away. reaching for that open door. Show me proof that there is something more. I just hope I am okay with the choices I make. Maybe then I'll understand. You said I'd fly away, but my words had kept me down. Now I'm lost and I'm afraid, and I'm close to hit the ground. You said I'd fly away. You said I'd fly anyway, but I keep on falling.
Game over. I want your devotion, all your emotions in my hand. I want your obsession, every affection, full command. And if you define me, you won't survive me, you'll be there I am. 'Cause I am the giant, I am the diamond, not a man. Have you ever played with a queen?
Hello everyone and welcome back. We are, I believe, hopefully not too far away from getting into the final game of the stream today, which of course will be C9 Krog Academy versus Weeknight Warriors. On the topic of Weeknight Warriors, let's move over to Weekend Warriors at the moment. And what I want to talk about with that is they're currently playing their match tonight up against MCOM. Now, the stars have aligned for a potential three-way tiebreaker in Group 2. What has happened here is QUT has taken the win away from Valkyrie, which has put them both on 3-2, meaning there will be a tiebreaker between those two. If MCOM can grab their win right now up against Weekend Warriors, that puts it into a three-way tiebreaker between QUT, MCOM, and Valkyrie, and that'll be a very interesting one to see. We'll have to find out what happens with that shortly, as like I said, they are still playing their game. But I did want to let everyone know what was happening over in that bracket, as I find it quite interesting myself. We may have... I don't believe they'll be streamed, but more games on our hands and a little bit more of an interesting narrative coming into the semifinals if that is the case. Now, with that being said, we are waiting for our final members of tonight for, again, unfortunately, a game that doesn't matter too much for the standings, but nonetheless still a game that teams want to play. We mentioned earlier about how C9 Krog Academy has somehow managed to, and I don't want to say somehow, I don't want to discredit them, but they've managed to pick up 2 wins so far. If they pick up this third win tonight up against Weeknight Warriors, that puts Weeknight Warriors on a 1-4, which is definitely not where they want to be. So Weeknight Warriors are going to look to be evening out this at a 2-3, but you never know how this could go.
Absolutely. Very interesting situation happening in the Group B, but you know, I think one of the interesting thing is, yes, there is potential for a three-way tie, but MCOM do have to climb the mountain that is Weekend Warriors, which have been the undisputed strongest team so far in that group. So that'll be very interesting to see how that plays out.
Most definitely. Will be interesting regardless. Interesting to see what happens with that. Of course, I want more games. I want more of a narrative. I want teams to have more of a chance and to go back and forth. We know, obviously, MCOM team that we always like to talk about as well, so be interesting to see them enter that tiebreaker and give the teams a little bit more of a chance to see what they're capable of.
Absolutely. I think the Krugs versus Weeknight Warriors, you know, somehow Krugs are 2-2 and Weeknight's I think 1-3, and yet Krugs are still coming into this game as the underdogs.
Yeah, they are. Look, Weeknight Warriors undoubtedly higher ranked players. They haven't seemed to have the synergy on the map that they probably need or would want at the moment. But that being said, still a much higher ranked team and much better players. So
I'm really curious to see the drafts for both teams. I think I think Krugs have had a bit of a better read on the meta than Weeknight have. this weeknight have so far. So I'll be very interested to see if they're able to. Well, what do you call it? I'll be interested to see if they're able to draft a sufficient team comp in order to take down the Krugs.
Yeah, I mean, we're definitely what you would hope going into this as Weeknight Warriors. They're not going to want to drop this game of all games. They only have picked up a win up against, I believe, Hot Pot Buffet so far, and some would say that potentially C9 Crow Academy on that same kind of level. I'm not too sure what's happening in Champ Select not in Champ Select, but in Lobby, as I am watching a Malphite beginner bot being added to the side of Weeknight Warriors. I don't know if that's meant to be some kind of an insult to maybe the level of which they think C9 Crow Academy are at, but a very interesting.
I'm sure they're just subbing him in. All right, sometimes you got to pull him out. All right, there's a very important game for Krugs. They've been holding the secret weapon for a while. The Malphite bot, just nothing can really stand against it. I actually don't know if this is just taunting or if they're actually just gonna play with them. I really hope they just pull out a Malphite bot. That'd be oh man.
It'd be very interesting. We would have to unfortunately let them out for certain reasons, but that's okay. I'm just trying to see what's happening here with this. So we'll be in the game shortly, guys. I think we are waiting on. I think it's only one more player, so we're waiting on that one. Then we'll get into the final game of the night. I hope everyone has been enjoying themselves so far. Sorry about the small hiccups we had earlier, but nonetheless, we're going to go into this final game with all the energy we can and support these two teams as they fight it out for their position on that ladder, just to kind of solidify their place on that there.
Should be very, very fun.
Now, I still see this Malphite bot, and I want to know what's happening.
I think it's very self-explanatory what's happening. They needed a new teammate, alright? If they need a Malphite bot, I'll play.
Sub him in, boys. But no. We will, I think, jump over intermission just because we don't want to leave it here too long and linger for nothing. Let you guys listen to a little bit of music while we wait for this to sort out, and I'll have to find out what's happening. If teams do take too long here, we may have to also look into teams losing bans, which would be very unfortunate. But with that being said, yeah, that's just the way it goes. We'll jump over to, like I said, that intermission there, and we'll be back very shortly.
Stayed at home the night. Yeah, I've been lonely counting hours while I'm getting blinded by the light. You can break my bones, break all the promises, but leave me. Don't break my heart. You should fucking stay with him. You should fucking stay with him. Break all the promises, but leave me alone. Don't break my heart.
You sure do like to share your opinions, talking big like somebody's listening. Nobody's listening. It's so fun and games until it doesn't. Toss me out, I'll hit the ignition. Now you listen. Hop up in the window. Smaller and smaller you fade out. Hop up in the window. Yeah. You gotta get my vibe, no, there's no way I'm playing like an old name. So sorry, but we're not the same. No, we're not the same. Boo-hoo, poor you. Please forgive me, cause I don't feel any pity.
Okay, and we are finally back just on time as well. We had 5 players in the lobby from both teams right on the dot, so that's perfectly fine. No bans will be lost here, and we'll be into it like normal. So again, to let everyone know, on the left side, or on the blue side, we have C9 Krog Academy Superstars. On the right, we have the infamous Weeknight Warriors, and I say infamous because they haven't won more than a single game just yet. This might be the one that they have to pick up and maybe put their name out there a little bit more again, just in terms of their standings in the Vantage Cup.
Yeah.
Diana Band coming out. Very strong champion we've seen come across over the last couple of weeks, and particularly today as well. She did her part, especially with the Yasuo. Maybe something they're looking to get rid of.
There goes a Nami, which, you know, signals that they don't want the enemy bot lane playing Lucian or anything like
Yeah,
it.
that's more than likely a target, more at like the kind of the Lucian. I mean, of course he can play with other champions too, but the Nami ban does, you know, Nami Lucian quite strong, and then Lucian seen
Very strong skirmishers. Skirmish fights are kind of big king on the Rift tonight, so I'm not surprised to see that. They've kind of snowballed every game we've seen. One thing I'd like to note is that in the they've made a bit of a change to the lineup. Weeknight Warriors have. Where's the Malphite bot?
Yeah, the Malphite bot has been removed. Very interesting. I guess the last minute
it's a bit of a downgrade,
they
wouldn't
got
you
rid of
think?
the bot that they had on their team, and they subbed in an actual player. So very strange one there.
Understandably, the Malphite bot is a bit more of a lane presence, whereas the new Nana, you know, he's more of a team fight player. So I guess we'll see how it plays out. Okay, so the Shyvana ban, which is...
Yeah, very strong ban, very strong champion, very good ban, I should say. And an Echo, which is not something that we've seen, I think, occur at all in this tournament. But nonetheless, Echo, definitely a very useful champion.
It looks like Wukong might go through.
Wukong does look like he will go through the ban phase. Will he be picked, though, is the question. I'm going to edge on the side of hopefully not, considering this game isn't too important, and I don't think anyone in their right mind likes playing that champion. I could be wrong. We will see. Zeri ban.
You know what you should do?
Very well
deserved. You should set up the stream so that every time Wukong is picked, it just plays Spinning Monkeys. The song.
Oh no.
Anyway, all right. Let's hope they can come up with some fun and interesting team comps. We saw an Azir last game. Maybe we can see Sylas. All right.
Sylas, quite a good pick in my opinion. I really like Sylas.
I agree.
If they can make it work, Sylas is a very hit or miss champion. But I do.
I find Sylas blind is very, very dangerous because now essentially the enemy team will just not draft good ults, which, you know, it's kind of a mental thing in the first pick Sylas is, but I'm not sure it's that useful in the actual later stage of the game. Ezreal. Okay, so Ezreal locked in, probably a safe side bot lane. Very safe, scales well, free scaling. I would like to see an aggressive mid laner. Maybe something like a Vex. Yeah, no. What are another aggressive mid laner? You know, maybe Talia.
Yeah, and there it is, Talia.
mid.
So Talia, Ezreal, definitely some strange drafts, or at least the orders. You know, Ezreal not a champion that's too strange, but the Talia and the Sylas being some of the first pick champions, maybe not something that we've really taken too much notice of in the past.
I can only imagine that Talia is probably jungle, purely because you probably don't want to give your roaming mid laner. You probably don't want to give Sylas the roaming mid ult. I'm not sure about that idea. Jhin. Okay, Jhin is it's a safe pick, but I'm not really sure there's much agency on that pick. It's fine if your plan is to just let bot lane sit there and fester a little bit. And to be fair, they've drafted a Sylas, so I can.
And a Rammus. Sorry to interrupt you there, Tuki. A Rammus. What are they thinking here? They've drafted a Rammus into an Ezreal Talia. Ezreal isn't even going to really be hitting the Rammus. What is that pick?
Clearly, they anticipated the what did they anticipate? Nothing. I don't understand.
I'm not surprised by the Karma pick coming in. So, Karma is a very, very strong pick with Ezreal. They play quite safe, but they also poke quite well. Very common, very, very standard. We see that all the time. That's not surprising. What's surprising to me is the Silas, Jin, Rammus. That's strange.
The Silas is okay. The Jin is an odd one. Look. There are ways the Rammus can play out. None of them good.
No, none of them good.
But maybe they're just predicting something. I'm trying to put words in their head, but I can't really do it, to be honest.
I think at this point, like we said, this game unfortunately doesn't mean a whole lot to the teams. No one wants to lose a game, not on stream, not for their reputation. But at the same time, these teams are also playing. I mean, anyone who starts playing League, at least attempts to play it to have fun. It might never happen, but that's the goal. So any chance they have, they might look for
Nah, it's actually just a massive BM. I'm going to focus on the Weeknight Warriors draft more than the C9 Krugs at this point, because they've lost their faith in God, and I'm not making sense of it. I would love to see a really strong top side that Talia can snowball, something like a...
I'm the Wukong Dan, by the way.
Yeah. I'd like to see a really strong top side, something like a Set, Darius, even a Nasus on occasion. Just anything that can snowball and just genuinely just end the game. Because Talia can roam up there. Viego. That means it is a Talia mid, which means you're giving Silas Talia role for the majority of the game. Which is, well, not necessarily the worst idea, it's also not, something you want to do. Well, let's just see where this hellscape goes, to be honest.
So it's not something you necessarily want to do. At the same time, Ezreal Karma, very safe lane. Probably don't have to worry too much about the Silas coming down with a Talia ulti, purely because if he does, he's not... Okay? He doesn't have his ulti to kind of fight them in the bot lane, if that makes sense there. Mundo coming out. Look, Mundo, not a bad champion. I don't know about it in this team comp. Very strange draft all around. I'm not sure what their goal is. I don't know what their win con is with a team like this.
I won't lie to you, I think their goal is to pick champions they want to play.
Yeah, you might be right.
And then the Ashe. Where's Wisp? Anyway,
the Ashe support as well. There we go.
Yeah, the Ashe support. Look, this is the nicest thing I can say about it is it's a pick comp.
Yeah, we can call it that. We'll call it a pick comp.
Realistically, if they hit that Ashe arrow, that person's getting blown up, regardless of what happens, right? And the Ashe does have good poke, and that's a nah. You probably could have drafted something that could really aggressively punish the Mundo in the early stages there.
I don't think that's too necessary. He doesn't really need to worry much about his lane, to be honest. His team comp is just that much better, in my opinion. That having a champ that'll kind of solidify those team fights, and can kind of, help push out lanes and do his job a little bit better all round. They are, yet again, like we mentioned, the favorite to win in terms of just skill and players.
They gave Silas Gnar ult.
They did give Silas Gnar ult. I don't know how useful that's going to be honest. We'll have to wait and see. It is very interesting. I'm not too sure how to analyze this draft. Majority of the champions are champions we don't see to begin with, let alone together. So there is that.
The team fighting prowess of the C9 Krugs is pretty much purely dependent on whether Silas has Gnar ult. There is no other team fighting anything in that team comp. On the other side, there's not much team fighting there either, but at least you got the Viego, the Gnar, and the Karma.
You have a lot more poke than anything on the side of Weeknight Warriors, but they can pull off a decent kind of team fight with the kind of the Viego, Gnar, and the Talia kind of coming off the sideline. It's more so a poke pick, kind of look for plays, less of a 5-man group.
Bit of a kite comp.
Yeah, look, very interesting. It'd be fun to see how they play this into champs like Mundo and Rammus being overly tanky, but then also champs like Jin and Ashe being a lot squishier.
Well, the game plan for the Weeknight Warriors is probably just Talia into Viego reset. Talia, of course, very, very punishing in the terms of getting a pick with that little knock up straight into the enemy team.
Yep.
You pushing it into a Mega Gnar and Ezreal who can just fire all his abilities at the person knocked up and hit them all the time. It's fairly good. On the other side, what do you have to stop that? Monday.
Yeah, no, you are right. What do you have to stop that moon, though? We will see as we get into the game. We're going to jump into a little intermission for the final game today, though. But we will be back very shortly, Pookie. We'll have plenty of time to talk about these picks.
You think I'll fall just like a guillotine, but I am here to stay. Won't look away. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. So you wanna be my enemy? You should've known I'd never kiss the rain. Ice runs in my veins, won't play it safe. I don't belong with your nobility. Who died and made you king of anything? You think that I'm insane? It's your mistake. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it. I've come to take it. Kingdoms rise and fall. I've come to take it all. I'll take it all. The storm is coming, so you better start running. No, you can't control, feel it in my bones. I'm coming for the, coming for the. I'm coming for the throne. I'm coming for the throne. Let's spark a light and see where it leads. Just you and me, hiding behind the curtain. A world so uncertain. Come and see where this leads. The circus. Circus.
Let's jam.
All right, welcome back to Game 3 of the final week of groups. Final game of groups. Positions have been decided for this group already. That doesn't mean that these teams don't want to play to win, though. So a lot of things could potentially happen here. Again, we spoke about the picks briefly in Champ Select. Rammus, really strange one. Silas first pick, probably a horrible one as well, especially in the Talia. I mean, Talia somewhat is definitely a counter pick to that as well. But it'll be interesting to see what they do with it. Just a little bit of poking coming out of level 1. Nothing that we can't really expect, but nothing major here either.
So, the good news for the Crocs. The Ashe Jhin bot lane, it can kind of outpoke the Ezreal Karma if given the chance.
Yeah.
That is... It can really just depend on how well the Ezreal Karma are playing. If you start... God,
We do have a pause. Yep, we love these.
I do love pauses. But I'll just discuss a little bit. So, Jhin and Ashe, not completely int. It could be worse. They can potentially outpoke the Ezreal Karma. Obviously, Karma has more value in like an fight. But, you know, if Ashe hits an arrow and they blow someone up, it's still a 4v5 regardless.
Mm-hmm.
So that is probably their main game plan. Plus, with the Rammus taunt, there is no way someone's getting out of that if they hit the Ashe arrow. Silas into Talia, obviously a losing matchup, but you are giving Silas Talia ult, which he then can translate to leads along the map, especially in that top, where if Mundo hits a few little cleavers and Nars already used his jump, that's an easy kill for a Silas. Viego versus Rammus. Look, the Rammus in terms of the actual team comp is not good, like at all, but Viego, he does do fairly well into Viego, so there are positives there, and then obviously Nara is a winning matchup on the top lane. So, the plan for Krugs is fairly simple. Hit an Ashe arrow, blow them up. Alright? Proceed to the next target.
Yeah, that's definitely the plan. I will stop you there, Pookie, just because we have gotten reconnect. I think we should be okay to play without hopefully any glitches here if I just rewind just a little bit.
No problem.
So we most definitely will have time to talk about the picks and the win cons a little bit more, but we are going to... Whoops, I've gotten rid of the play button.
Whoopsie daisies.
We are about to get into the game now, so let me get the directed camera back up, let me get rid of our time controls, and away we go.
Yeah. So, the game plan for Weeknight Warriors is kind of the same thing, except instead of Ashe, it's hitting the Tilling. And they actually have a way of snowballing that pick into a full win for their team, which is Viego. The problem I'm sensing that could be a problem for Weeknight Warriors is the fact that you have given Silas Narod, which he can use almost better than Nar can. Well, no, not even almost. He can use it better than Nar.
Yeah, with the engage on his E and
yeah. So, even if you don't, like, even if, what's it called? Krugs have not drafted themselves a teamfight comp, you've given them a really powerful teamfight ultimate. And Mundo can just run straight at them after the Nar ult and just, like, run them down. So, it'll be interesting to see if any of these teams can get ahead in the early game, because that will really dictate the pace of this game. Because against a team with a gold lead, these team comps are very hard to execute.
Yeah.
So, should be interesting.
Yeah, definitely will be interesting. It'll be interesting to see how they can manage to pull that off. We did mention, of course, player-wise, skill-wise, we are expecting Weeknight Warriors to have the advantage there. But not
it's an
ordinary pick.
Rammus Talia, Rammus Genki Talia.
Oh, there we go. So, yep, Rammus on the clear. They're going to get the STC, they're going to get the engage back on from Silas, but knock away from the Talia is going to save her life.
Great flash discipline, not even using the flash.
Yeah, I was just about to say, no summon is wasted. I mean, she will have to potentially... No, she's not even looking to reset there. So maybe a little bit risky with the overstay here. Rammus going to look for the Scuttle Crab. Might look to regank it if she does stay. I can only imagine she's going to be backing up very soon, though.
A little bit harder because... Oh, no, I think it's a bot lane situation.
Yeah, he's running straight bot lane. Rammus engaging here. Ezreal shifting over the wall. Good. Very well played. Karma getting the CC onto Rammus, but also getting
I think
the
this
CC
Karma might die.
And yeah, so Flash coming in from the Ashe. Flash coming in from the Jhin. First blood goes over to Jhin.
So... Clearly, the Rammus is the high point of this game. He's the carry. Look, he might be useless in a team fight, but that doesn't ignore the fact that he has got a very good CC on and a very good engage for ganks. So he is going to be a substantial threat, at least in the early to mid game. I really love... So Mundo playing very well here. He knows that Viego will be topside because he didn't match... Rammus, they're going to probably try and catch the Viego here. I think they might be able to do it. If Silas... Yeah, Silas is coming up. I don't think they catch him. It's unfortunate. This looks like a bit of an overstay, by the way.
Yeah, so Ignite popping down, Cleanse being popped by Ezreal. Sorry, a little bit delayed there, but yeah, a lot of subs coming out. A kill onto the Jhin, and Ashe does manage to get away. She pops her exhaust though. Now, Jhin did have heal up there, which I was expecting him to pop, and potentially they could have gotten away, but I guess he thought otherwise. And didn't want to use
I think it was... I don't even think Karma got full use out of her root. I think even with the heal, the Jhin just dies because of the...
Yeah, if the root went off, he definitely would have died there. That's a possibility if that were the case. So maybe a smarter play for him to not use that there. That being said, he did die with his heal, whether or not he knew that was the case.
Also, I hate to tell you this, but I have more faith in our players in this tournament to say they're all at 0 CS at 5 minutes into the game. Look,
we do have that issue. Thank you for bringing that up. That is one of the little issues we have with a pause. And that's the reason we mentioned that there. We should be sorted now, which we are. So time controls as well. Okay, yeah, it would have been very funny if they were all on 0 CS. Thank you for pointing that one out, Pookie. Should be fixed now, though.
Wouldn't surprise me if Ramesses. Alright, so 2 kills straight in the bot lane. I will say Jhin has a fairly stronger laning phase than Ezreal does, and should be really dictating this. However, Karma is also always an annoying little threat. Nice few little trades. This top lane matchup really should be going more in favor of the Gnar. Like, it's a Mundo, and the Mundo can't really hit you through anything, and he has to come up to CS anyway. So there should be a substantial lead to the Gnar being gained here. Especially since you gave Silas Gnar ult just to pick it.
Yeah, I was sorry, I had to fix the score there. It was still bugging out, but it should be sorted now.
That is all good. So first dragon of the game going to the beautiful little Krugs.
Yeah, so seeing as I'm picking up the dragon, they are 900 gold behind, however, despite the 1-1. That'll be from, I believe it was...
Talia.
Yeah, Talia getting... No, was there a first... There was a first blood, which I believe went down on the Karma. I could be wrong in saying that.
No, so the first blood went to Jhin, actually.
Right, you are correct. Yeah, interesting to see. So definitely the CS in the mid lane being a big one there. There's a fight breaking out as well. We've seen the Talia ulti get popped.
Oh boy.
Looks like Silas taking, I believe that was Viego ulti. He's going to pop it there, look to kill the... Yeah, there we go. So picks up the Viego. He's going to look to leave, though. Maybe not. Re-engage coming out, but Ezreal's in the backline. Picks up the Ashe. Looks like there's another fight breaking out here. Ezreal does drop, and also looks like they might pick up the Silas. No, they're actually going to run away. This Rammus providing a lot more to the team than we ever could have imagined.
Oh, that's clean.
And there's another pick up for Silas, but Talia is going to clean him up as well. So
I think ended up being a 3 for 2 in favor of...
I believe it was a... Yeah, 3 for 2, you are correct. 3 for 2 in favor of
3 for 2 in favor of Krugs.
That being said, gold has now been equalized.
Absolutely. So, just... We talked about how the Ramesses pretty much kind of it, right? Not if you don't respect it. The Rammus in the early game, that is a long CC that he gets absolutely nothing, and he can just sit there and take it. Right? So... Ooh, this could be close. I don't think
so. No, actually, maybe a skirmish coming out. It may end up being in a kill with, yeah, Gnar getting into mini form. I don't think he's going to pick up the kill. He might go for the dive. And if he gets more auto up, yeah, there we go. So he's forcing the flash out from Camus in the top lane. No flash on that Mundo. TP's still available though, so he's likely going to reset and come back. He's not going to miss that wave. Ezreal looking to kind of push in his wave in the bot lane. Rammus has just hit 6 though. He's been a very gank-heavy champion so far in this game. It'd be interesting to see if that's going to change now with level 6, or if it's going to get even better.
So there's a lot of disrespect being shown towards the Rammus, including by us.
And also by himself in that engage there. He does kind of run himself down just a little bit to the enemy bot lane. Unfortunately, Karma picks up the kill. Ezreal doesn't get it. A lot of damage actually came down, but I don't think that play was ever going to work.
Hey, look, good guy Rammus. He just wants it to be a close game. I understand. So there's a... Ooh, I think Ezreal could get over this wave. So that is... I'm pretty sure that was Silas ult on the Talia, which we said he was going to try and do. Unfortunately, Ezreal can just jump that wall.
Yeah, so you can't really use it down bottom. Like I said, they're relatively defensive, poke, and they have ways to disengage, so not the greatest stealing of an ulti there.
Also, Jin's building lethality because of the lack of tanks. Rammus is ganking again.
Yeah, so I believe there was a flash point there. I didn't quite see through from... that's what we get. So double summons blown from the Talia. Fight happening. Viego getting quite low. Silas doesn't want to give up here. If he does get his W off, there we go. Picks up the kill. Jumps straight onto the Talia. She's pretty low on mana. Her cooldowns are currently up. She does manage to throw him away, though. Nah, behind the Silas, however, he's going to just look to get the kill onto Talia. She's very low. There we go. She's down, and I don't think Nah can actually fight. I mean, he can just chase this. There were two behind him, but they're not going to be able to catch up. And Silas maybe getting away. Yeah, so if he continues to chase this here, he will probably be caught out. He sees the Ashe after that W, of course, and decides to back away.
Once again, massive value out of this Rammus. He's genuinely just everywhere in the game. And that's a 4-1 Silas that, and I hate to sound like a dead horse, that you have given Naros. So, he's going to be a substantial threat. Viego is somehow 20 CS up. Well, actually, that makes sense.
It does indeed make sense.
Rammus hasn't actually stopped ganking.
Yeah.
So, however, he's still 2 deaths at this point in the game. He could be much further up at this point with the amount that Rammus is actually ganking. Silas has pretty much full control over this lane in the mid lane now. Every time he lands his E, Talia is in a bit of trouble. This lane is still just... The bot lane is still just going to be negated. And at this point, I think Rammus will just start, appearing literally everywhere.
Yeah, Rammus is just going to keep ganking. We see a fire breaking down the top lane. Nah ulti being popped there to throw Mundo into the wall. Mundo quite tanky. He's going to pop his ulti, and I honestly don't think Nah wins this. He does get Mundo very low, though, and I think they're both going to back up. Engage here onto Viego. Viego flashing over the wall. Fight still happening in the top lane. Very close.
One more cleaver. Ooh.
And also one more auto would do it, and that's the flash coming in with the auto. And that's the kill on Nah. Very interesting trade back and forth. Well played by the both of them. Nah managing to pick that one up despite Mundo having his plated steel caps already.
Yeah, just a very small little overextension. Nah obviously can kite if Mundo isn't hitting the majority of his bone cleavers. Even when he was, Nah still with the fleet footwork, Prox was able to do a bit of...
we do see a Rammus engage coming in the bot lane. He does hit the Q, I believe, on the minions, losing a lot of health here. Jin managing to get the W off on top of the CC, though, and instantly blows up that Karma. Goodbye to your health bar. And an ulti coming out. Viego is close by, though. He may have to cancel this ulti in fear of the Viego.
He is in trouble.
Being zoned off by the Ashe, and it looks like Viego might actually be the one that's caught out here. Engage coming in from... There we go, Engage coming in from the Silas, but it wasn't needed as Jin just completely pops that Viego. And a flash coming forward by the Jin to get the kill as well onto Ezreal. A lot going down in the bot lane. Ezreal really just kind of getting, I guess, out-mapped. I don't really know what to call it, but he's not having a good time. He's not playing his lane poorly, but he is just falling behind. 5-1 on the Jin, 4-1 on the Silas, and they're playing very well together.
So, 2 things to note. 1, there is a massive jungle difference right now, and ironically, we said the Rammus was in, and what did we know? The Viego will not be able to follow up with much damage in pretty much in the team fights coming up, especially when he has to face a Silas Jin, who is building lethality and you don't have a tank. Right? That is a massive issue. The good news is that they are 200 gold behind despite giving up 3 kills. The bad news, no dragons.
Yeah, look, no dragons. The goal is relatively even, but 2 dragons for the side of C9 Crowd Academy. Potential fight breaking down the top lane. No, Mundo's just going to walk away from that one. But a Herald has been placed in the bot lane. Despite the 2 dragon advantage on the side of C9 Crowd Academy, they didn't get the Herald, which is going to give the plate gold over to Ezreal. And
then we have a gold lead.
A healthy, happy camper with a bit of a gold lead now.
Yeah, now we have a gold lead.
Ezreal maybe going to get picked out again here.
Oh, and here
Ashe
he goes
being
again.
missed. However, that's an engage coming in from Rammus. A lot of damage going down onto Rammus, but he is extremely tanky. Karma losing all of her health. but it doesn't matter because they pick up the kill on Rammus. Viego transforming into the Rammus. Gonna try and make the same play that Rammus made there with the engage on the support.
Oh no.
But he just gets blown
Oh
up.
no, Jin's gonna ult. Oh no.
Underestimate the power, and that's gonna be a pickup for Jin.
Bang.
Double kill on Jin, and that's a very interesting play there.
Silas made a bit of an error.
Silas made a bit of an oopsie, but they're still going to continue to look for it. Silas got the E there, misses it. It looks like they might just back up. Fight breaking on the top line, though. Nah ults the Mundo into the wall. Mundo's still quite healthy, as we know. And I don't think that's going to matter anything. However, the flash going in from Silas, picking up the kill onto Ezreal. And they may look to continue to push out this wave, or potentially reset. I believe they're going to push this out. Jin's quite healthy, although he probably wants to spend the gold that he has in his pocket.
So, there is a specific thing that we talked about where we said the fights that they want to play out are essentially Ashe, Taunt, Jin W, kill, right? For the side of Crux. Oh, hang on.
Another fight breaking out. The Rammus engaged yet again, and Na's health bar is just being deleted. The two tanks just pound away at him, and he dies within a matter of seconds.
See, the double Balmy Cinder, Balmy Cinder, go-to item. Yeah, so, the thing is, we talked about how the way Krugs want to play these fights is essentially you want to land Rammus, Taunt, or Asher into Jin W, and whatever one you didn't land, you follow up with. And that person is just dead no matter what. It's almost always a kill, right? And you'll notice that Rammus has pretty much dedicated all of his time to the bot side of the map, because that's where that combo can play out. In contrast, we talked about how the main combo that we can use, the main synergy for Weeknight Warriors, is the Talia into the Viego. We haven't seen Viego go mid once. So, it seems like a bit of a disconnect between what each team is trying to do, that you can see the contrast between Krugs know what they're doing, they know how to play it, and they're punishing the disrespect of the Rammus.
Rammus looking to go in again, get the flash out of Karma. I mean, what do they expect at this point? They shouldn't be that extended against them.
Yeah. You need to get vision down on this Rammus. He can't be doing this for free and just sacking his jungle.
It looks like they're going to... Wow, insta-cleanse coming out from Talia. She's still getting completely destroyed, though. She eats all 4 shots straight to the face, and that's good night for her.
So, this Jin already has Collector. He also just got another kill, and Ezreal is about, I'd say, K.5, maybe probably 2K down at this point. Rammus is...
Engage happening in the mid lane. Rammus gets the engage. Jin hitting the W from afar, and the rest of the team see to back him up. Jin just going to pop the rest of the team, but Viego manages to get out with his ulti and the skin of his teeth.
Just a little bit over-eager from that Rammus. He didn't need to go in that far. The Jin was close enough that he could W, but not enough that he could actually lay down his damage, and considering the Jin is 8 of 1, you do want him there. He's going to be very, very useful. Silas also 5 of 1. Pretty much anything this Viego tries to do, it's not going to happen at this point in the game.
Yeah.
Silas will just...
Viego swing it over 4. Okay, a little bit of engage happening there. They do get the shutdown though onto Silas, which is a big one. I don't think they're going to be able to catch this Rammus. He is a
little too fast.
He is getting out.
A little too fast. He's built Sunfire instead of Turbo Chem Tank, which I actually think is a better buy here, purely because of the disrespect that Weeknight Warriors are showing him. He knows he can get in because they're not showing him. They're not being cautious enough. So he doesn't need the extra speed. He can just go for the extra damage. We
do see Weeknight Warriors looking to pick up this dragon. However, C9 coming in from all sides. TP coming from below. Mundo right in the middle of the fight, but he is on his own. He's going to fall very fast. And, you know, Smite did have to get popped there in order to stay alive for the Viego. And there we go. That's the Jin stealing the dragon. So that's what happens when you pop your Smite to get some health. They may have won the fight, but they lost the dragon. That puts Soul Point on T9 Crow Academy at 18 minutes into this game.
The good news is they got a lot of shutdowns. They got the Silas shutdown and they got the Jin shutdown. So that's almost a K gold back in the bank. And you'll see that they actually have a gold lead now. However, they are now on Soul Point and you are walking into a Jin. This is not good. Yeah, so honestly, Ash might actually just die on the tower here.
Yeah, she very well could, but I don't think she... Oh, there we go. She gets instantly blown up. So, I knew the Rammus was, of course, right around the corner. That being said, a well-timed combo there from Talia, and there goes Ash's health bar.
A little too overextended. Just a little.
Maybe a little bit too much faith in your jungler there.
And honestly, despite the fact that we've seen... Krug set the tempo almost the entire game, it's a 2k gold lead to the Weeknight Warriors. I can only explain that through the mid lane CS difference and the top lane CS difference, and I guess the jungle CS difference. Pretty much every solo lane is behind on CS because they've been getting plays around the map. Now, normally this would be a bad thing because 2k gold down, it's fine. But I think Krugs would happily be 2k gold down for a soul point chance where they can just go for a smite flip. And suddenly they've got Hextech Soul, which absolutely puts them in the driving seat.
Oh, without a doubt. I mean, Hextech Soul, quite a strong dragon. Especially when you look at the team that they've already got. They've got the Ashe, they've got the Jhin, they'll both benefit from it. Sylas doesn't mind it. I mean, realistically, everyone on their team kind of benefits to an extent. And it's something that they definitely don't want to be giving over to the other side as well. So
especially with the Ashe. Yeah, with the Ashe, they're just not going to be moving anywhere. It's just going to be so slow. Well, what do you think is the game plan for Weeknight Warriors at this point? Because
the game plan for Weeknight Warriors here is to let your carries get stronger and pop that Jhin and that Ashe. Carry-wise, the only one that really stands out to me at the moment is Talia.
Well, she has got 7 Dark Seal stacks, which I think they'll want to try and get rid of those. And also, apparently she's built Abyssal, Leandre's, which I think is definitely a decent buy here. Lots of high health targets on the enemy team. I'm trying to think of because the Ezreal is just going to be a safe damage. Rammus is never really going to be able to get onto him. The problem is Viego. They've drafted around getting a pick for the Viego and then snowballing.
Yeah.
I don't see how Viego has the damage to follow up.
No, he's 0-4 right now. He's only got his mythic item, which is a Sundra, so he hasn't gone for crit build. He's not going to get that sneak attack when everyone's cooldowns are down and just kind of start blowing up the backline. He's not. He's going to have to deal through the front line, which makes sense based on the fact that the team is so tanky, but it really puts him even further behind because he's just not going to have the damage to get through the Mundo, to get through the Rammus and the Sylas as well. And if he tries to look for that backline, he's really got to be careful about Jhin.
However, if Krugs overextend, then he's going to be very useful because he'll probably get onto the Rammus, and then they'll do a bit of a what I like to call a mix and match. A little bit of a. I'm really struggling to find the word here.
Yeah. So wow. Okay.
That is clean.
A little bit of a dive. It looked very safe for the Gnar there, so I didn't really want to comment too much on that one. I just let it play out. But Sylas manages to get his W off at the last second, gets the heal off, manages to pick up the kill, and the tower damage also just kind of helping out with that one.
He also stole Gnar ult and just locked him under tower. That is very unfortunate. That means Sylas is now got his Cosmic Drive, and jeez, dude. The good news is this Talia's 50 CS up, so she is almost all of your damage. If they get on top of Talia, they're not going to have the damage to do much.
Rammus getting engaged on Viego. Viego flashing out instantly. Would have been blown up in an instant if not for that. Now the side of Weeknight Warriors looking to run down C9 Krog, but doesn't look like it's going to happen. That being said, Sylas goes over the wall. Ashe ulti being thrown out. Again, nothing to come of it, but there's a TP coming down from behind. Engage coming in from Talia as well. Now all of a sudden, everyone's in the middle of the fight. We see Rammus jump over the wall with his ulti, but he didn't get anything from it. Looks like Weeknight Warriors may have this one as long as they can take out... There we go, the Mundo is down. Jhin doing damage with his ulti, but I really don't think C9 Krog Academy can do anything to stop them right now. And I believe the dragon is spawning. There we go. That one could go over to Weeknight Warriors.
It absolutely could. Honestly, if I was the Rammus in this situation... Oh, hang on.
TP coming out from C9 Krog Academy, though. They may look to do something here. Maybe take a 50-50.
Rammus... Yeah, I think they're just trying to get 50-50.
The dragon did reset, though, and that's really put them in a shitty position. There we go. So, first dragon for Weeknight Warriors, and that delays the Dragon Soul for C9 Crow Academy.
I think so it's good that they won that fight, right? Although the fight is still going. It's absolutely good that they won that fight. I think the Krugs overextended a little bit, over-engaged onto a Viego who had flash. I think the engage is fine, but unfortunately, if he does have flash, he can just get out of there. You don't really have anything that sticks if he dodges the initial CC. The thing I'm worrying about is, and I'm genuinely just beating this horse to death at this point, but in that team fight, if Silas has Gnar ult, they lose. 100%. Right? He didn't, because luckily, Silas solo killed Gnar in the bot lane, so he couldn't use it that time.
Yeah, he took it from him in the bot lane, and it would have been still on cooldown, so it was lucky for them in that.
If that solo kill didn't happen, I think Weeknight Warriors lose that fight. Because I'm not sure how they'd be able to counter that amount of damage in CC. However,
a lot of
that means
very interesting play happening in the top with Vision. Everyone's being spotted, but yeah, nothing happening. Sorry, continue on that one, Pookie.
That's okay. It's just Talia's now on 9 CS. Not 9 CS, 9 Dark Seal stacks. So she is getting a lot of value out of that Dark Seal for 350 gold. That's quite a bloody power. And Silas is still... The CS lead is growing. He's now 60 CS behind. And that makes it a 3k gold lead to a team that is 3 kills down. So I think we're just seeing the experience difference here. Weeknight Warriors know how to farm. They know how to keep up with their CS at constant level. Whereas, you know, a lot of the roams that while they have been working for the Krugs, the roams have been costing them CS on the other side.
So yeah, if we take a look at kind of the scoreboard, we take a look at the top, we can see that C9 Crow Academy, they're up in kills, they're up in dragons, but they're down in CS, which means that they are down as a whole. They're down in CS in every single lane. There's a 25 CS lead in the top lane, there's a 40 CS lead in the jungle, we've got an over 50 CS lead in the mid lane, it's hitting 20 in the bot lane. It's just on every level, although they've been making misplays, Weeknight Warriors really showing that they do know what they're doing, and that they can win this game so long as they keep it up.
The Krugs have been playing very, very well as a team. It's just these small, little, like, singular faults in their laning phases that are holding them back right now. I think, in terms of team synergy, they've been playing Weeknight Warriors all around the Rift. But, unfortunately, yeah, these basics do need to be improved if you want to stand a fighting chance. Which, honestly, if they improve at these kind of things, they could be a real contender. Yeah,
look, for such a low-ranked team that they are, and I believe they consist primarily of I believe, like,
platinum and diamonds.
Mid-plats to low diamonds, maybe. No discredit to them, like, they've played really well. They still have a chance at picking up this game, and that'll put them at 3-2, which, if they were in the other group, would put them in place for a tiebreaker. And sorry about that one there. We see Engage coming out. Talia pulling the Rammus forward. He does lose about 3/4 of his health, but he has the rest of it to escape. And yeah, he's going to have to play a little bit careful now. Baron on the table, and if they start to see the side of C9 Crow Academy in the bot lane, which majority of them are at the moment, then they could really look for this Baron.
One thing I want to point out is that vision for the Krugs is very, very dark.
Yes.
They do not have a lot of vision anywhere.
I'm counting a singular... No, sorry. Making that 2 wards on the map at a glance.
Let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4.
I do see, yes, up in the top side river. So they've only got 3 wards in the top river and 1 ward on a entrance to their jungle.
How many of them have sweepers?
In the greatest spot. Only 2 of them have sweepers, and this is a very interesting one. We see a bush camp coming out from Weeknight Warriors. That being said...
Oh, don't do it.
And Rams is going to get caught here. Oh no, he ults over the wall, so very well played. He's very low though. Ezreal manages to pick up the kill. That's something for Viego to transform into if he wants to. But it looks like the Silas takes the Gnar ulti, gets a triple kill, and they're going to look to clean up the Talia as well. There we go, quadra kill on the Silas. Will they give him the Penta is the question. It's not too far away. He is going to... Yeah, he's going to chase this one.
Well, I mean, I don't want to beat a dead horse.
That being said, I don't know if he manages to pick this one up. Oh my, the Zonya's being
Mundo.
he gets the pentakill. Pentakill on this Silas, 11, 3, and 2. They're going to get the mid tower for this one. They're going to look to get the dragon. That'll be soul point. They might transition over to Baron, or maybe look for more picks around Baron. More than likely just reset though. And there we go, we can see 2, potentially 3 going after that dragon right now.
Mundo is man's best friend. So, even though they've literally just been aced, there's still a gold lead for the weeknights, but unfortunately, that is soul.
That is soul. That soul and a 300 gold lead isn't going to mean a lot if they can make a play like that again. We just saw a
100%.
pentakill come out before that gold lead even existed, before that soul was on the board, and now C9 Crow Academy have all of that in their pocket.
So, I am very proud of myself. But, yeah, so the team fight earlier at the Dragon, I mentioned that if Silas has Nara, they just lose. Now we had a little bit of a rerun with that, except Silas did have ult, and he literally just one-shot.
Yeah, he really did.
So the problem was, there are no tanks. We've been through that. I don't think Talia was even there. Nar wasn't in Mega, and I don't think he was there either. Which meant you've got your 3 squishiest characters, and also the 3 that are arguably the most behind, trying to kill, like, overextend for a Rammus in their own, Krug's own jungle, right? They get the kill, right? But they've completely overextended to that point, that bush right next to Red Buff. And Silas can just chain over, hit 3-man Gnar ult, gone, done, sold.
Yeah, very well played by Silas. He knew exactly what he needed
Absolutely.
to do. I mean, like, Ezreal shifting over the wall to try and pick up that kill onto Rammus was definitely not it. And we see the Ash ult being landed, Jin W as well, and that's, wow, with the auto, that is the end of Karma.
God,
Another fight happening in the bot lane. It is between Gnar and Silas. Gnar actually winning that one, but it doesn't really mean a whole lot considering the other 4 members of C9 Crow Academy are on the Baron.
Yeah. So Silas is just wanting to make sure that, Gnar will regret his choices if he chooses.
Rana's looking for an engage. He is quite low though, and he does just get picked up. I don't think that was necessarily worth it. I think if they had stayed on the Baron, it would have been a better situation for them.
Oh, does Viego die?
It doesn't look like it. A lot of trades going back and forth. Some healthy targets, some lower ones. And I think, unfortunately, C9 Crow Academy has to peel off the Baron. I think they could have just had the Mundo zone off, and they could have picked that one up pretty safely. It didn't look like Weeknight Warriors thought they could contest it as well as maybe C9 were afraid of.
I would just like to point out that there's an 11 kill Silas and a 10 kill Jin, and they're still 2k gold behind.
Yeah.
If they just practice the basics of laning, the small little bits of CS, God, this team would have been this game would have been over. Who do you think scales more?
That's a really good question. I mean, I think if you look at this, it probably goes. That's a really tough question, and people are in the chat right now probably giving their opinion on this one. But look, it is tough because if you hit the late game, you've got Viego who will finally come online if you can get.
Oh, Asher.
Asher does go. It doesn't land on anyone. But Viego can be an absolute monster in the late game, but he can also be absolutely useless if the other champions are able to counter him, which it looks like so far. C9 I'm sure that they can. Champion power-wise, I think it's to an extent it's even. I don't think Weeknight Warriors have the better team comp for it though, and because of that, I would say that C9 Crow Academy, if they have the gold lead, which they don't, but if they have the gold lead and they're scaling harder, then they're probably the ones to win it.
Currently, the Krugs are experiencing paper cuts, which is now it's over a 3k gold lead, despite the fact that they've won consecutive team fights. Very unfortunate. What I will say is, I would say that the Krugs scale more purely due to the Silas Gnar ult. That ability will scale too heavy. That being said, I think as we've seen so far, Krugs have a way better synergy in terms of being able to display what they want to do with the comp and being able to do it. We are getting to the stage where, unfortunately, the Rammus is now just it. But,
yeah,
he fought well.
He did his job. I mean, look at the bot lane, 10 and 2, 11 and 3 in the mid lane. I'd say mid lane was more of his own doing, but even still, the Rammus provided what he needed for that. Regardless, though, he definitely got the Jhin into the position he is now, and the Jhin is sitting very comfortably.
Yeah. So the thing is, all the gold is where you want it to be for Weekend Warrior, for the Crocs, right? Whereas, you know...
Ash also does land onto Talia. Again, Ram's just going a bit too deep. I think he's not really respecting the fact that he's not as strong as he once was. And he's kind of throwing his life away. There's a little bit of skirmish happening. Silas jumping on top of Nah, but it doesn't really end in too much. Nah is about to get Mega, but I'm pretty sure this will be a disengage.
You would think so. I don't think they want to fight without Talia around. She's pretty much the only thing that can kill the rats.
Okay, Ezreal jumping forward, trying to get some damage off. Jin is nearby. They do have to... Whoa, my god! That is the end of Ezreal's health bar. Ulti is going to be blocked by the rest of the team, but that was a nightmare, and that's a goodbye to Karma on the 4th ulti shot from Jin. Ezreal fearing for his life right now. Rammus going back in, full health again. They get the taunt off onto Talia. They pick up the Talia. Jin is full health, flashes forward, shuts down the Ezreal. Does lose all of his health in a single tower shot and a Q though. But C9 Krog Academy really showing how strong this Jin is.
And I just find it funny that despite this, they still are down on gold.
They are, yes.
This is really bad for multiple reasons. One, your Ezreal and Talia are dead, and Elder Drake comes up in 15 seconds. Bum bum. That pretty much secures them Elder Drake no matter what.
That being said, it looks like they actually might choose to end this game. So Jin is still alive. He is going to get that damage off. As you can see, one down. That's going to be a second one down, I believe.
Oh, good flash.
That being said, there we go. So we do have 2 falling. Ram is dead. Ash is dead. Jin is still alive, though. And I don't think anyone from the side of Weekend Warriors is going to be able to stop them.
This Jin!
This Jin, a monster.
Krugs.
Pepper going off
played.
for, I believe, the first game we've seen him hit this level, and honestly, an amazing job done by him. Not something that I expected coming into this. 13, 2, and 6 on that Jin. Absolutely insane, nearly full one-shotting the Ezreal with a single auto. That was ridiculous, and very well played the C9 Krog Academy to play from so far behind in gold.
06 and 14 Rammus, who would have guessed that?
What's your thoughts on that one, Pookie?
Rammus Pog. No, but seriously, I think we can see that giving the Silas Gnar ult was when you know he's there and you lock in Gnar, and Gnar's not even particularly good into Mundo, and you lock Gnar for that. They got punished for that very, very hard. Krugs played their team comp so much better than Weeknight Warriors did at every stage of the game. Despite the fact that every stage of the game, Krugs are playing from behind. They were behind in gold every time.
Yeah.
Right? So that is genuinely one of the best games that Krugs have ever played, I would say. If they can work on their CSing and just not giving small gold leads here and there around the map, they are going to be a monster if they keep playing the way they are.
Most definitely. We will happily invite back both of these teams who have had a great performance in our future events. However, that is the last game they will both play on stream and in our tournament. That being said, yeah, very well done, guys, particularly in this game tonight for C9 Krog Academy. Keep that up. Little things to work on, but you guys did amazing tonight, so keep that in mind. We will quickly transition over to our casting desk just to finish up the thoughts for tonight. But I have some news on the second bracket. So it was a MCOM loss, which means that Weekend Warriors go 5-0, I believe, in their bracket. That puts Valkyrie and QUT at 3-2, so they will have to play a tiebreaker game. We'll be in contact with them about that. That game will happen off stream, but that will determine the one that goes through the semifinals. I believe that is all we have for tonight, so we are going to transition over and end the stream, unless you have any closing thoughts on that one, Pookie.
No, I just keep staring at your little avatar. It's fucking it's gorgeous.
Thank you very much.
Also, Ramastiff. Praise
yeah,
me.
Ramastiff for sure. Very interesting pick. Yeah, but the jungle gap, unfortunately, that game was very interesting. Yeah, yet again, we will be back next week with the semifinals. We will let you know out on social media, on our Twitter, and during in the Discord, who will be playing off against who, due to the tiebreaker that needs to happen. But with that being said, yet again, thank you all for coming and watching, and we'll see you guys again next week.
Yes, sir.
Now you're out of touch, never measure up. You'll never be enough. People say tough love, you should just suck it up and think back to a time that you were lost.